at the end of it. 16 racing laps the distance. Being tightened up on these half-rolling laps to avoid people at the back getting a fly-up. It's working, and we're back rolling with the whites and yellows Gold Cup about to get underway. Right. So away we go then. They've got the green and we're away into 16 racing laps. And it's 4:45, Roger Green who leads them away as they head on round the town bend into the back straight. We've lost Anthony Flanagan down there in 1:33. But off the pit turn into the home straight comes Roger Green, the leader, in 4:45, and Chris Wilkinson 1:21 and Nigel Wilkinson 4:21. That's how they go through down to the town bend once again, where some of them have gone straight on down there. 315, Eric Graveling gone to the fence, Tony Smith gone to the infield in 195. Phil Bicknell's also been out in number 7. And the lead cars are through again down to the town bend where 4:45 Roger Green leads from 1:21. Chris Wilkinson, brother Nigel back in third in 4:21 with Murray Harrison fourth in 97. Howard Davis is running fifth in 3:27 and it's Wayne Handley sixth in 3:78. The leaders are through again down the home straight. 4:45, 1:21 and 4:21, and that's the top three. Phil Bicknell slows down coming off the pit turn, causes a problem there for the 79 Neil Long car. And the leaders are through again, and a change in the top three because Murray Harrison and Howard Davis are motoring through. It's still 4:45, Green the leader from Wilkinson in 1:21, but it's Murray Harrison running third now in 97. In fourth it's 3:27, Howard Davis, fifth is 4:21, Nigel Wilkinson. The lead cars down the back straight, picking off those back markers as they head for the pit turn again, and Murray Harrison putting pressure on those top two now in the 97 car. Chris Wilkinson side by side with Roger Green on the town bend, and Murray Harrison in behind them, the three together down the back straight. 1:21, Chris Wilkinson the leader, but Murray Harrison right in behind him in 97. Roger Green is third. Howard Davis arrives in fourth place in 3:27. They're through again, and it will be halfway next time. And the lead cars on the town bend where Murray Harrison takes over in 97. Chris Wilkinson down to second in 1:21. Howard Davis through to third in 3:27 with Roger Green fourth in 4:45. Through into fifth now is Ian Bagot in 5:38 with Wayne Handley sixth in 3:78. 4:21 comes next, and then looking back further it's 1:34 and 3:42, and that's how they went through at the halfway. And up front Murray Harrison going clear in the 97 car. He's down the home straight again. Chris Wilkinson running second in 1:21. Howard Davis putting pressure on Wilkinson, he's third in 3:27. Roger Green pulling up down on the town bend, the early leader 4:45 looks to be gone from the places. Wayne Handley's cooked it going off turn two in the 3:78 car. Neil Long's parked up on the middle. Davis goes across the grass down the home straight. Problems down on that town bend. They've got 5 to run this time through. And it's Murray Harrison gone clear in 97. Ian Bagot battling through into second place in 5:38 with Howard Davis recovered to hold third in 3:27. And that's how they come through as we go towards the closing stages. 4:21, Nigel Wilkinson looks to be in fourth place, and looking back behind them further it's Alistair Newsom and Wally Pittham, and they're about the only ones left on the lead lap as Murray Harrison goes through again. He's down the back straight towards the pits turn, the 97 car, and Chris Wilkinson coming again in 1:21. He's been up there in the top three virtually throughout, and he's not letting Murray Harrison go without a fight. Round the town bend they go into the back straight, and it's 97 from 1:21. 5:38 and 3:27 complete the top four. Some back markers in front of Murray Harrison as he rounds the pits turn and comes to the home straight with 3 to run. Murray Harrison trying to pick his way through those back markers. He goes past Wally Pittham, and he's going clear of Chris Wilkinson now as we move on through the closing stages. The last lap board is out and Harrison is clear. 121, Chris Wilkinson in trouble there as Wally Pittham spun, but he's only taken another back marker. Tony Flanagan in 133. On the last bend into the home straight, Murray Harrison winning the Whites and Yellows Gold Cup in 97. Coming through to take second, it's Ian Bagard in 5.38 with Chris Wilkinson finishing third in 121. He's followed by 3.27 Howard Davis. And the next in line is going to be 4.21 Nigel Wilkinson. And then it looks like 3.42 Alistair Newsom, and the minor place drivers coming through. With 3.43 Barry Heath next, and we're still waiting for one or two other finishers. 3.02 Chrissy Burke. Wally Pittham has pulled up down at the pit gates. Neil Smith goes over the line, and so does Tony Flanagan. And that's it, Mr. Starter. We can have the Reds with their trophies, and on the lap of honour, the winner of the Whites and Yellows 97, Murray Harrison. Davis in 3.27 and Neil Smith. Are 2.29 Paul Higgins from York, 4.13 Matthew Bennett from North Killingham on Humberside, 1.72 the new car of Stevie Hodgson from Murfield West Yorks, 96 is Glyn Duff from Sandy Acre in Derbyshire, and 22 is William Yarrow from Rothwell North Hants. The Star Grade drivers, number 2 is Paul Harrison, winner of the final last night at Long Eaton, 2.72 Andy Hodgson from Murfield in West Yorks, 87 Neil Brigg from Huddersfield in Yorks, 5.15 Junior Wayman, Silsden in West Yorks, the new car of 2.12 Frankie Wayman from Silsden West Yorks, and 33 Peter Foldingley, superstar at the back of the grid. That's it, it looks as though we're all ready to go with Heat 1 for the Formula 1s, 27 cars, 16 racing laps, and it will be the first 10 to go through to the afternoon's grand final. I did. And away and racing with 27 cars on track for the first heat for the Formula 1s. And problem down on the pits turn where Phil Bicknell has been collected by Howard Davis. Those two in a heat down on the pit gate. Tony Smith has gone up on the town bend, the 195 car up there. And Chrissy Burke in the fence, and Axel that's down the back straight, 3.02, and the yellows are out. Waved yellows are called for. So we go under caution. And we're going red, it will be a complete restart. We're going red, it will be a complete restart for Heat 1. I was thinking if we can't find Boston, we'll just carry on in. We've got another route here that means you're going to go that way and that way, but then there's no route left there, so you just get to it unless we follow one of those. Cars on the grid. Now down to 20, we've lost Neil Long, number 79, 20 cars this time, still 16 racing laps and 10 we're looking for to go to the final.
got the green, away we go racing once again. We're heat 1.
Most of them cleanly away this time, led by Nigel Wilkinson in 4:21 as they move on down the back straight from Paul Lowe 4:10, Ian Daft in 16. Bumpers flying at the end of that back straight. And the low graders are not all safely around. Ian Daft was sideways on in 16, but he straightened it up. And the Starmen already arriving to put pressure on the leading group. Paul Harrison leads the red top charge in number 2, and the race leader is now Paul Lowe in 4:10. Lowe the leader from Chris Wilkinson 1:21 and Alistair Newsom in 3:42. 22 William Yarrow in 4th place, and then 33 Peter Foley has taken over the red top charge, and he's running 5th, pursued by Harrison and then Hodgson and then Wayneman. At 1:21 Chris Wilkinson bids for the lead down onto the back straight and goes through. So Wilkinson has the lead, and he's gone. He's blown a tyre and spun away onto the pit bend fence as Peter Fording takes the lead in 33. Yarrow second in 22. Harrison third in number 2, and then it's Wayman in 5:15 and Alistair Newsom 3:42. And off the pit turn they come and through onto the home straight. And it's 33 from number 2 and 22 and 5:15, 3:42 and 2:72. 3:15 Eric Graveling has retired in the infield where Chris Wilkinson's gone, courtesy of that flat tyre of the 1:21 car. Peter Fording completes another one in 33. Harrison second in number 2, Junior Wayman third in 5:15, and then it's 22 William Yarrow and 2:72 Andy Hodgson. Now the big names are all towards the front in this one, and we're still not at the halfway. It will be halfway next time, in fact. And it's Fording the leader, 33, heading down towards the pit turn, pursued by Paul Harrison in number 2, with Junior Wayman gone third in 5:15. William Yarrow hanging on to 4th in 22 as the leading group lap Matthew Bennett down the home straight. Another blown tyre, it looks like, on the 410 Paul Lowe car. In fact, it wasn't a blown tyre, it just drifted out wide on the pit turn. But he's not with the leading group. It's still Peter Fording in top spot from Paul Harrison, number 2. Third is Junior Wayman in 5:15, and 4th is 2:72 Andy Hodgson. Back in 5th is 22 William Yarrow. Looking back behind them, it's Alistair Newsom in 3:42, and they've got just 5 to run next time. And Fording is going clear down the back straight, pursued by Paul Harrison, number 2. They've got 2 back markers in between first and second. And they're through again down the home straight into the town bend, and it's still Fording from Harrison with Junior Wayman third, and he's under pressure from Andy Hodgson in 2:72. William Yarrow running nicely back in 5th, and then a gap back to Higgins in 2:29. And behind him Alistair Newsom and Matthew Bennett and Neil Brigg have tangled out going off turn 2. They both straightened up and got back onto the action. And as we go on through the closing stages, it's Peter Fording 33 the leader, Paul Harrison second in number 2, and a long way back in third Junior Wayman in 5:15. Half a lap separates first and third as Fording comes off the pit turn and down the home straight, and he's got just 2 to run this time through. Down to the town bend he goes, where Neil Smith spins away in front of him in 5:07. And Fording still leads from Harrison, with Junior Wayman third, Andy Hodgson 4 and William Yarrow 5. And the last lap board is out for Peter Fording. Down to the town bend he goes. Paul Harrison not going to get to Fording on the back straight for the last time. Junior Wayman's pull clear of Andy Hodgson to hold on to third. And off turn 4, looking for the checker, comes Peter Fording in 33. Fording wins the opening heat. It's Harrison over the line in second place. The rest of the placemen led home in third by Junior Wayman, with Andy Hodgson finishing 4th. Behind him in 5th, a good drive by William Yarrow. 6-man home is Paul Higgins, and they're the only ones who finished on the lead lap. Alistair Newsom over the line down amongst 7, and then Ian Bay got 8. And behind them, Nigel Wilkinson was still getting the top 10 to complete the distance. And that's it, Mr. Starter. We can have the Reds. But better known as the Formula 1 World Championship semi-final. We'll be bringing the competitors out for that very soon. In the meantime, your appreciation around the raceway, please, for the winner of Heat 1 from Rotherham, South York's 33, Peter Fording. champion. It's number 53, John. Previously a World Championship winner at the Hensford Raceway, where this year's final takes place, and the man on inside pole this afternoon. Alongside him, a man who's been setting the tarmac tracks alight this season from Shenstone in Staffordshire, 422, Nigel Wharton. And the Neely man of the World Championship. A lot of people would dearly love to see this man who's been around the raceways a long time collected. He's on the second row inside this afternoon from Tintwistle, Derbyshire. 260, Dave Beresford. And Mr. Entertainer of the 90s on the Brisca raceways from Huddersfield in West York, 64, Kev Smith. The defending world champion inside of the third row from Leek in Staffordshire, 55, Bert Finnekin. A man who's had a troubled season, went into retirement with a blown engine. He's back and his fans are delighted. From Incley in Leicestershire, 213, Des Chandler. We're down onto the fourth row now, and a young lady standing high on the airfoil of that car from Disley in Cheshire, Miss Jane Bean. Sharing the fourth row of the grid with Jane on the outside grid position from Nuneaton in Warwickshire. It's number 73, ever smiling Rob Cowley. Down onto the fifth row we go, and the first of the non-red tops in today's semi-final from Dorchester-on-Thames in Oxfordshire, a man with a very solid front bumper, 162, Richard Pratt. Alongside Richard on that fifth row, the pride of the northeast these days. His dad was a world final 1-2-3 not so many years ago. It's number 86 from Middleton in Teesdale, David Toulson. And as they roll on through down the home straights, we've got some people from BBC Radio Lincolnshire out there assisting with the presentations, and of course they are covering this afternoon's big race live when it gets underway on their afternoon programme, Double Trouble. We thank them for their interest in today's meeting. The grid forming up over on the back straight, just a little bit of congestion down in pit road before we can continue with the grid, which we're almost halfway through. We're looking for the drivers on row 6 to come out of that pit gate next. So we continue with the look at the grid. We're on to row 6, on the inside of row 6 from Leeds in Yorkshire. A young man who makes no secret of the fact that he's a budget racer, but he's been up there with the big boys this season. It's 226, Mark Webster. And continuing down the grid, we've already met one man who's got a very solid front bumper on the outside of row 6. Here's another one from Ilford in Essex. It's 471, Bobby Burns. Row 7, now we meet another former world finalist, top 3 placeman from Rothwell in Northants, 2:03, Danny Clark. Sharing that 7th row with Danny Clark from Preston in Lancashire, just making his way down the home straight. It's 1-1-3, Russ Humphrey. And the young man just approaching the start-finish line now. Another former 1-2-3 in the world final, in fact in 88 at Hensford itself. 5:01 from Rugeley in Staffordshire is Chris Elwell. Sharing row 8 with Chris Elwell, a member of the racing family from Malvern in Worcestershire. This one going rather well this season. Up to blue top now. It's 3:71, Shane Dorrell.
He was never lower than 10th on the track.
On the 9th row of the grid, a very popular man, the music man in fact, from St Austell in Cornwall. It's 4:17, Mike James. Alongside Mike on that 9th row of the grid from Giltbrook in Nottingham, another driver who's climbed the grades this season, 26, Ray Williams. The next man on the grid, Wilf Warnes, is officially a non-starter, so we move on down to the 10th row. That 10th row all to himself from Atherstone in Warwickshire. It's 98, Les Spencer. On row 11 of the grid, another man who's had one trouble after another this season, shoulder injuries, blown engines, but he's another who keeps coming back smiling. From Norwich in Norfolk, it's 4:41, John Lawn. John gets row 11 to himself with 175, Rob Pearce being a non-starter. And on row 12, 146, Jim Potter, the third of our non-starters this afternoon, which means that the next man out has that 12th row of the grid to himself. From Kettering in Northants, already a race winner this afternoon on semi-final day, 97, Murray Harrison. And so to the 3 reserves who've made it onto the grid today. They thought their chance possibly had gone after that last qualifier at Buxton, but luck still riding with them. And the first of those 3 reserves from Middleton in Manchester, it's 4:24, Mike Hayward.
You won't see him here again.
And alongside Mike on the grid, just coming down the home straight now from Cirencester in Gloucestershire, it's 117, Rob Scriven. And so to the 24th car on the grid for this afternoon's semi-final, only confirmed officially today that he finally made it onto the grid from Broughton Astley in Leicestershire, number 6, Phil Wilton. So that's it. They are the 24 qualifiers for this first semi-final. The first 10 in this race will go through to this afternoon's grand final, but far more importantly to them, the first 10 will also qualify for the 1991 World Championship final to be staged at Hensford Raceway on Sunday, September the 15th. The others that don't get through have a second chance, of course, in the consolation semi-final to be staged at Scunthorpe late in August, and just 2 will qualify from that one. Don't sit there in your chairs, not there. Amongst the photographers out there on the infield, he's hoping to sell a few to Stockcar magazine when he gets them back from the chemist. But out on track, the serious business about to get underway. 10 of them through to the world final. The rest, well, they'll just have to wait and see how things go at tight and tricky Scunthorpe in the consolation semi. And this is what they've been working for since the very first day of the season, when, if I remember rightly, we had a qualifying round out here on the East Coast back on the 2nd or 3rd of March, was it? And here we are into August, with those points having been totaled up to give the drivers the grid positions you see before you. Good luck to each and every one of them, and we can't really say may the best man win, because there is one lady driver out there, so may the best driver collect the checkered flag and go on to front row start in the 1991 World Final. Just a final check that everything is okay around the track, and we would remind racegoers please to keep back behind the safety barriers, completely off the track that separates you from the stock car track, behind the safety barriers, and we're almost ready to go. It's 25, isn't it? Barriers, could we have you back please? Starter Mr. Barry Mears gets them rolling. 25 racing laps ahead of them, 25 laps the distance, 10 through to the World Final. Here we go with the 1991 Skegness semi-final. Front cars are told to go rolling. They're under starters' orders for the Skegness semi-final. Last roars of encouragement from the terraces to their favourites as they come under starters' orders. They've got the green and the race is on. And the battle for the first turn develops with John Lunn leading hard on Nigel Wharton, and they're in the fence. There's an almighty shunt on that town then. Beresford, London, Wharton have gone. And it's Bert Finnegan who leads, but Kev Smith's put Finnegan out, and Kev Smith goes to the front. So it's 64, Kev Smith the leader at the end of the first lap from 162, Richard Patton, 471, Bobby Burns, 86, David Torson is fourth. John Lawn and Dave Beresford are out down there on the town bend. Nigel Wharton's onto the middle and gone from the World Championship in 422. Dave Beresford's bailed out of his car, his race is run. Reserve Mike Haywood's big day is over as well. He's blown a tyre on the 424 car, so he's away to the infield and gone. And the race leader is Kev Smith in 64 as they come on down the home straight with David Toulson running second in 86. Back marker John London amongst them in 53. Running third is Richard Pratt. In fourth it's Bobby Burns. And in fact it could well be Bert Finnegan in fourth and just in front of Bobby Burns as they come on through, and then behind them Richard Pratt dropping back, Chris Elwell going through, and Russ Humphrey and Dan Clark. John Lawn trying to get back into the action from that tangle down on the turn bend. So they're sorting themselves out from that initial panic on the start, and it's Kev Smith the leader. Off the town bend he goes onto the back straight in number 64. In second place it's 86 David Toulson, 55 Bert Finnegan is third, Bobby Burns is fourth in 471. In fifth it's 501 Chris Elwell, Russ Humphrey is sixth in 113, Dan Clark seventh in 203, Richard Pratt is eighth in 162, Jane Bean is ninth in 309, and Mike James completes the 10 in 417. And 53 John Lunn working hard on the back bumper of Kev Smith. He's trying to unlap himself and get back into those places. But Kev Smith is running true to form. He's holding the lead in the 64 car, and Bert Finnegan's coming back at them in 55. And Finnegan has just relegated Toulson down a place. And John London worked that time trying to get past Kev Smith. Kev Smith leads the race in 64. One lap down, John London is just behind him, and then on the same lap as the leader, comes Bert Finnegan, David Toulson, Bobby Burns and Chris Alwell. Behind them Danny Clark, and then Russ Humphrey and Jane Bean and Richard Pratt and Mike James. And that's the top 10 at this moment. And Kev Smith leads them through again in the 64 car, where he's under pressure now from 55, Bert Finnegan. Shane Dole and Mark Webster have gone to the fence at the end of the home straight. And 98 Les Spencer has gone to the infield, where Ray Williams is also out of the race. So changes amongst those top places, and Chris Alwell's gone. Kev Smith has done the deal on Chris Alwell, and Alwell's in the fence on the town bend in 5:01. And this is the halfway stage. 12 laps gone, 13 to go, and it's 55. Bert Finnegan the leader from 86, David Toulson. And we'll check the top 10 through at the halfway stage as they come in this time. First 55, Bert Finnegan. Second, David Toulson. Third, Bobby Burns. 4, Kev Smith. 5, Dan Clark. 6, Russ Humphrey. 7, Jane Bean. 8, Richard Pratt. 9, Mike James. And 10, Des Chandler. And those are the 10 heading for Hensford at the halfway stage of this semi. With John Lund having just unlapped himself, but still on the back end of the pack. And John Lund is running about 13th at the moment, with 3 more places to overhaul if he's to get onto the grid at the first attempt. Changes going on down the places as Des Chandler begins to make a forward move in 213. Jane Bean's just picked a couple off as well in 309, and she's beginning to go faster as the race goes on. And we're round about 3/4 distance now, with Bert Finnegan the leader in 55. David Toulson has managed to avoid trouble so far, is second. Bobby Burns is third. Kev Smith has slowed considerably in 4th place. He's got a train of cars behind him, with Jane Bean leading them through. She's just gone past Dan Clark. Behind Clark it's Russ Humphrey. And Humphrey's just dropped a place as Richard Pratt goes past him. So now Jane Bean putting some pressure on Kev Smith, and Jane Bean goes past Kev Smith, and he hits Jane Bean hard down into that pit turn. A tremendous tussle for those two. They're battling over 4th place. And now Dan Clark gets involved, and what a battle that is for 4th place off the town bend and down the back straight, and Jane Bean's got a problem, and it's 5 to 1 next time. So we go towards the closing stages. Bean in trouble on the pit turn there in a battle with Kev Smith. And there's Bert Finnegan the leader with 5 to run. In second, David Toulson. In third, Bobby Burns. 4th is Dan Clark. Up to 5th now is Des Chandler. In 6th, Richard Pratt. 7, Jane Bean. 8, Kev Smith, and John Lund is into the 10. He's 9th, and Russ Humphrey is 10th. And they're the only ones left on the lead lap, with Bert Finnegan immediately behind the 10th place driver on the track. So Finnegan is through from the pit turn again with 3 to run. And John Lund tried to drop Kev Smith down the places. So Kev Smith gets dropped another one. He's going backwards, and he's in danger of being lapped now by the leader, Bert Finnegan. Finnegan still leads. Toulson getting a bit closer to him in these closing stages. 86, David Toulson just chasing a little bit after Finnegan. And here we go with the last lap in the Skegness Semi. And it's Finnegan the leader. 55, Toulson second in 86, and Toulson's gone. Toulson's lost it in a tangle with Mike James. So Bert Finnegan is going to come through and win it. 55, Bert Finnegan wins it. And the second man home is going to be Bobby Burns. In third, it's Dan Clark. 4th is Des Chandler. 5th, Richard Pratt. 6th, Jane Beam. 7, John Lund. 8th, Russ Humphrey. 9th, Kev Smith. And the 10th could have been either Murray Harrison or Rob Cowley, with Chris Alwell home 11th. Rob Scriven next home in 12th. Looks as though it's going to be Phil Wilton 13th and probably last one. That's it, Mr. Stardo. Lights, please.
Hi, John, all round in the... Very nice.
And Bert has taken a mighty step in the defence of that gold roof he proudly wears on the top of the 55 car. He will line up on the front row at Hensford in September. Drama all around with very many hard luck stories to be told. That first bench shunt that put out Nigel Wharton and cost John Lund very dearly. On my unofficial observations, John Lund made it back into the top 10 in the closing stages, but so we shan't have that confirmed until the charts have been checked. And the hard luck story of David Toulson, who was closing on Bert Finnegan towards the end and came close to possibly taking Bert Finnegan's lead position, but it ended in a tangle with just a couple to run down there on the town bend. Mike James was in the top 10 towards the end. He's another one parked up down there, and off they go back towards the pits. They'll all have a story to tell, but none bigger than the drivers now parking down on the start-finish line. Confirmation from the charts that Bobby Burns was the second place finisher in 4.71. Have we got 3 trophies? And for this one, do you know? Oh yes, I can see them on the track there. So first and second are confirmed from the charts, 55 and 4.71. Third place we'll be giving you in just a moment. Now, and of course, we'll give you a complete rundown of every car that finished the distance in that one. And third place is confirmed as 2:03 Dan Clark. So it's Bert Finnegan, Bobby Burns and Danny Clark, the 1, 2, 3 in the Skegness semi. We've got trophies down there for those 3 drivers and a lap of honour that they've really earned. And I'm sure you'll agree we had plenty of stock car racing in that semi-final with 24 cars on track here at Skegness. They had very little option around the tight and tricky Skegness Oval. So I hope the stocks fans who've travelled a long way will think certainly worthwhile coming for that semi-final race. A lot of questions still to be answered as the unlucky ones from today move on to that Scunthorpe Consolation semi. And we need Danny Clark down on the start-finish line, please, for the trophy presentations. If someone can rouse Danny out of the pits and get him down there very quickly, please, to the centre green. Danny Clark required most urgently so that we can continue with the presentations. Presentation time down on the middle. All eyes down there on the 1, 2, 3, who've got the good positions for the World Final at Hensford. So if you're ready, Dave, with the radio mic.
Thanks, Danny. Well, you pleased with that? Yeah. Well, it was a bit of a hairy race, wasn't it? Yes, one or two disappointed people, but you're obviously highly delighted and rather surprised. Well done, Danny. The quiet amount of racing. Mr. Gentleman himself, Mr. Bird, did you enjoy that race, sir? Very much. Very steady on it. So it's at the first corner, I don't know what happened there. I think everything happened on the first corner, Bob. A lot of people went out, but you think you were moving very, very quick. That's true. He says a lot of things, doesn't he, Bob? He says a lot of things. Well, congratulations. So you happy with that second row position? Yeah, because what I think now is a car for the World Final. A proper racing car, because this Hindusford is a racing track, isn't it? That's right. Not a stock car. So I need a racing car, so if Mr. Landon runs out there, because you know him, is he? Right, so, I'll have his car then. Well, I'll pass the message on, but well done, Bob, well done indeed. Congratulations, Bert, first place, is that what you wanted to be? Well, it's a bit more than I wanted, really, but I'm quite happy with it. How does it go in house for the car now? I haven't tried this one out yet, with it being a new one, but I'm quite pleased with it up to now. It was one of those races where you needed a roadmap to find your way through, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a bit of weaving in and out and dodging about, right, but we got through all right. Tom Smith was giving everybody a bit of aggravation, wasn't he? Yeah, give me a bit of aggravation. The next couple of laps, like, I get him like fairly big and then just squeeze him a little bit and managed to get away with it, thank goodness. Well, congratulations, look forward to seeing that go. Top car heading to win the 1991 championship from the front of the group. Congratulations, Bert Finnegan. Cars coming up and
on the centre green. The 1, 2, 3 in the Skegness semi-final. And of course we shall be getting them right around the stadium on a lap of honour so that you can all show your appreciation to them in just a moment. And we will be checking the results, the placing of every finisher in that semi just as soon as they come back from that lap of honour. Clark in second place, 4-7-1, Bobby Burns. And the man who's made a giant step forward in defence of his world title from Leek in Staffordshire, 55, Bert Finnegan. On the programme this afternoon, we're looking for the first 10 from this one to join the 20 already qualified in this afternoon's grand final. Round the back straight to be brought to a halt with the Wilkinsons, Chris 121, Nigel 421 on the front. Behind them Roger Green in 445 and Ian Daft in 16. 410 Paul Lowe, 195 Tony Smith and 133 Tony Flanagan. The yellows, Wally Pittam in 134, Rob Scriven in 117, 424 Mike Haywood, 507 Neil Smith and number 6 Phil Wilton. And the blues are Stevie Hodgson in 172, Chris Elwell in 501, 441 John Lawn and 413 Matthew Bennett. Eddie 6 is David Tilson, 417 Mike James and 128 John Wright. And the reds are Nigel Wharton, Rob Cowley and Frankie Wayman. We've got some youngsters on the wrong side of the safety fence again. Can we have youngsters back behind the safety barriers please and off the track altogether? Everybody ready? Here? We have all clear from race control and indeed out there trackside. Here we go with the consolation race. Anybody counted them? 22, right, thanks. 22 cars get away for the consolation race. 16 racing laps, and we're looking for 10 of them to go through to the final. Rob Scriven in the fence on the pit turn was John Law and Phil Wilton and Stevie Hodgson tangle out down the home straight. Sorting themselves out to get back onto the track, and Paul Lowe catches the fence down the home straight in 410. He's done that fence post a load of no good as he sits there watching the oncoming traffic. And up front with the leaders, it's 121 Chris Wilkinson. Into the back straight he goes. Second place man is Roger Green in 4:45, with Ian Daft in third in 16. And the second place man, 4:45, Roger Green, has retired at the infield. Matthew Bennett completely shed a back tyre, which is rolling about on the infield. 121, Chris Wilkinson, the lead car from 16, Ian Daft. Stevie Hodgson got a problem, the 172 car pulling up down on the home straight. So a quarter of the race gone, and the leader goes down towards the town bend. It's still 501 Chris Elwell, in fact, has gone through the lead now, dropping Chris Wilkinson to second. Nigel Wharton through in third, and David Toulson fourth. And that's how they come down the home straight, up towards that town bend again. 501 Chris Elwell battling with back marker Frankie Wayman in 212 as they go up towards the pit turn. And as they come through this time, it will be halfway next time, and it's 501 Chris Elwell the leader. Nigel Wharton is second in 4:22, with David Toulson third in 86, Chris Wilkinson fourth in 1:21, Mike James fifth in 4:17. Behind them, Tony Smith and Rob Cowley, and into the second half we go. John Wright, 1:28, retires the infield, where John Lawn and Phil Wilton and Stevie Hodgson are already parked up. So we're in the second half, and 501 Elwell leads them through down the home straight. From Wharton in 4:22 and Toulson in 86. In fourth, it's Chris Wilkinson, gets a hefty shunt there from Mike James down the home straight. Now James goes past Wilkinson. Wilkinson holds it on that town bend and gets back on the racing line. Rob Cowley now about to go past him in 73, and the lead car's got just 5 to run next time. So we approach the closing stages, and with 5 to run, Chris Elwell goes through in the 501 car, but Nigel Wharton's getting closer to him in 4:22. Frankie Raymond's parked up on the pit bend fence in 212. Elwell comes through with 4 laps to run this time, and Wharton's still in there behind him. David Toulson is back in third in 86, then a gap back to 4th place, Mike James. 5th is 73, Rob Cowley. In 6th place it's Chris Wilkinson in 1:21. Behind them the rest are now a lap down, and we've got Rob Scriveney and after Wally Pittham amongst them. But Wharton's putting the pressure on Elwell up front, and down to the pit turn they go. The 2 tarmac specialists from Staffordshire, neither of them into the world final yet, and they're battling it out for this consolation race. And Wharton has got the upper hand as he gets the inside line into the back straight and drops Elwell to second. Stevie Hodgson comes back on, having been on the infield for about the last 10 laps. And there's the home straight go through. Wharton from Elwell on the town bend into the back straight, back marker in front of Wharton. Elwell gets in behind him down to the pit turn with the bumpers connecting. Wharton rides that one, but Elwell's pushed in the length of the bend and back to the home straight, and down the home straight they come, and Wharton collects the checkered. Elwell has to settle for second. David Toulson comes over the line third in 86, and through in fourth it's Mike James, with Rob Cowley finishing in 5th in 73. Reds, please, Mr. Starter. Led the man with the checkered flag and shortly to receive his race winner's trophy. And it's quite ironic that when the semi-final draw was heard, a lot of people must have said that the tarmac men had got it made. They'd drawn the Skegness semi. Well, tell Nigel Wharton and Chris Elwell that at this stage of the afternoon, and they won't agree with you. So your appreciation all around the raceway, please, for the winner of the Formula 1 consolation this afternoon from Shenstone in Staffordshire. It's 4:22, Nigel Wharton. done then to Nigel Wharton, winner of the consolation race this afternoon. So the grand final this afternoon, Chris Wilkinson and Nigel Wilkinson, 1:21 and 4:21 respectively, lead them off with Alistair Newsom in 3:42 completing the whites. The yellows are Wayne Handley in 3:78, Murray Harrison in 97 and Neil Smith in 5:07. Lidaft in 96, 2:29, Paul Higgins. 86, David Tolson, 5:01, Chris Elwell, and 1:62, Richard Pratt. Two more blues to complete the lineup of blue top cars, 417, Mike James, and 22, William Yarrow. And the Star Grade drivers are Paul Harrison in number 2, Andy Hodgson in 272. 203 is Dan Clark and 309 is Jane Bean. Des Chandler in 213, 422 Nigel Wharton. 113 Russ Humphrey in 73, Rob Cowley. Junior Wainman in 515, Neil Brigg in 87 and Kev Smith in 64. The superstars are 33 Peter Folding, 53 John Lund and 55 Bert Finnegan. 471 Bobby Burns is out of his grid position but down there amongst the cars. Laps. 28 cars on the grid, 20 racing laps. The all clear is given. And the Starman has to close up on the grid. Under starters orders for the grand final. And away we go racing, and David Tolson's turned it around going into the pit turn. And the rest of them look to be safely away and into the race and around the first turn, but Des Chandler's gone to the fence on the second bend in 213. And the lead car is Chris Wilkinson, 121. The star drivers having a battle around the pit turn. Nigel Wharton and Dan Clark, a couple of them have got clobbered up there. Dan Clark's parked on the middle. Nigel Wharton comes back on and he's already a lap down to race leader Chris Wilkinson in 121. With Alistair Newsom second in 342 and Murray Harrison third in 97. 507 Neil Smith retiring to the infield. There's Chandler looking at the fence again on the turn bend in 213. So the leaders go through and it's Murray Harrison in first place in 97. Round into the back straight he goes. 501 Chris Elwell is in second place. We've lost Nigel Wharton 422. He's gone to the infield. William Yarrow 22 is pulled up by the fence at the start of the home straight. 97, Murray Harrison leads. 5:01, Chris Elwell is second, and number 2, Paul Harrison is third. Behind them it's Richard Pratt and Russ Humphrey, and a tangle down on the town bend with Jane Bean and Andy Hodgson and Kev Smith and Des Chandler involved. Jane Bean is parting the fence, the 309 car, backwards to the fence facing the oncoming traffic. Kev Smith and Des Chandler have gone very slowly down the back straight together. They're losing places all the time. Kev Smith goes onto the infield with a blown back tyre. There's Chandler's away onto the infield as well in 213. Andy Hodgson slow on the back straight, looks as though he's got a problem as well in 272. And the race leader is Murray Harrison, 97 into the home straight, but Paul Harrison has gone second in number 2, dropping Chris Elwell to third in 5:01. In fourth it's 86 David Tolson. It's halfway next time round. So as we come to the halfway, it's 97 Murray Harrison the leader. In second is number 2 Paul Harrison with Chris Elwell third in 5:01. Fourth now is 33 Peter Folding, fifth 162 Richard Pratt, sixth is 55 Bert Finnegan, and then behind them 87 Neil Brigham, 471 Bobby Burns. And Murray Harrison is coming under pressure now in lead position in 97 from number 2 Paul Harrison. Harrison gets the inside line and goes through into the lead. Already a final winner this weekend, and he leads the final this afternoon into the second half. Chris Elwell is the man chasing him now in 5:01 with Murray Harrison dropped down to third. Peter Folding well in touch with him in 33 who's fourth. Richard Pratt is the next man in line in 162. He's in fifth place. And looks as though in fact he's been passed now by 55 Bert Finnegan and 515 Junior Wayman. Andy Hodgson gets away onto the infield with that blown back tyre on the 272 car. Peter Folding moves up another place as he goes past Murray Harrison. And Paul Harrison is still being chased by Chris Elwell, and they've got 5 to run. So it's number 2, Paul Harrison, who has the lead from 5:01 Chris Elwell. 33 Peter Folding is next. And Folding is still in touch with him. Murray Harrison gets the bumper treatment from Bert Finnegan down on that pits turn. So Bert Finnegan moves up a place and he's on the tail end of the top 3. Harrison the leader, number 2. Elwell second in 5:01 and Folding third in 33. And they got 3 to run that time through. As the final laps are ticked off, Elwell is still putting the pressure on Harrison with Peter Folding trying to get with them. Jane Bean in there amongst them, a lap down at least, but putting the bumper in amongst those leaders. And just a couple to run this time through, and it's still Harrison in number 2, and he's got some clear track in front of him as he goes down the back straight. Chris Elwell is behind, and then Peter Folding, and round into the home straight they come. And we're on the last in the grand final. And it's Paul Harrison looking for a weekend double of 2 finals in 2 meetings. He's down towards the pit turn for the last time with Chris Elwell and Peter Folding next in line. Into the home straight he comes, and Paul Harrison completes the double in number 2. Chris Elwell is second over the line with Peter Folding third and Bert Finnegan fourth. Then behind them it was Junior Wayman fifth. And then came Murray Harrison over the line, 6 and 97 with Bobby Burns 7 and John Lundane, Richard Pratt 9. And it could well have been Alistair Newsom completing the top 10 in 3:42. We'll know when the charts are checked. Mike James has blown a back tyre on the 417 car in the closing stages. And that's it, Mr. Starter. Race, please. Before the attention switches to Boston on the Shale this evening with a planned start at 7 o'clock. Assuming the staff's all there by then. So let's get that lap of honour on its way. Your appreciation please for the winner of the grand final this afternoon from Rotherham in South York's number 2, Paul Harrison. for 16 laps. The man at the front of the grid, Paul Harrison, has a 1 lap handicap. That's a penalty for winning the final this afternoon. The number 2 car chasing double prize money if he gets into the paid placings. The rest of the grid forming up in the normal way behind him.
For the stock score,
heat, 16 laps, 19 cars, and they go green. So Paul Harrison chasing a 1 lap handicap, leads them off in the number 2 car. And Neil Long turns it around, down on the tab end in the number 79 car. The rest of the field managed to avoid him, and we'll look for the leader coming back. It's Alistair Newsom in 342 from Murray Harrison in 97. Chris Alwell is third in 501 and Richard Pratt fourth in 162. Then comes David Torson under pressure from Junior Wayman, and my goodness, that bumper went in hard down the back straight. Jane Bean gets airborne around that pits turn. So they're spreading out around the circuit, and it's Alistair Newson who leads them. 342 through on the home straight. 97 Murray Harrison putting the pressure on Newsom. They go out wide and Chris Alwell joins them. 73 Rob Cowley has blown a tyre and is away onto the infield. And Chris Alwell is up front and in the lead. John Lund has got a problem. The 53 car, they're heading for the infield. Looks as though it's a tyre that's caused John Lund's problem. And the lead car coming off the pits turn. There's a tangle down on the tab end with Jane Bean facing the wrong way in 309. The lead car is Chris Alwell now in 501 from Murray Harrison in 97 and Richard Pratt in 162. Junior Wayman is next in line. Tangle on the home straight as Bobby Burns and Paul Higgins come together. Burns just taking a little drive around the infield, rejoins, dragging an inner tube from the John Lund car behind him. And 501, Chris Alwell still has the lead. He's through again with halfway next time. Richard Pratt is running second in 162, and it's Junior Wayman third in 515. Murray Harrison is down to fourth, and that's how they come through at the halfway. 501, 162, 515 and 97. Dan Clark is fifth in 203, and Peter Foley sixth in 33. Bert Finnick in seventh in 55, and the early leader Alistair Newsom down to eighth in 342. Chris Alwell in the thick of the traffic now in 501 as he goes down to the pit turn. And he still hasn't shaken off the pursuers, who are Richard Pratt and Junior Wayman. They've got just 5 to run next time. Jane Bean's another one who's blown a tyre. The 309 car heading for the safety of the infield. And the battle on for the lead down on the pits turn, and Richard Pratt's front bumper takes him through in 162. He's now coming under pressure from Junior Wayman with Chris Alwell still there with them. And on the back straight they go, 162, 515 and 501. And there's a train of cars in behind with the shape of Peter Foley, Bert Finnegan and Danny Clark. But on the home straight, Junior Wayman leads now. 3 next time. And round the pit turn they come with Junior Wayman the leader in 515. Chris Alwell goes out wide, and so does Richard Pratt, and Peter Fording's in amongst them in 33. And Junior Wayman taking the outside line to lap Alistair Newsom 342. And it pays off, but Chris Alwell's now there. He tried the outside line for a moment, but that didn't work. Alistair Newsom bouncing the curb, slows Peter Fording down. On the back straight they go, with Junior Wayman 515 the leader, from Chris Alwell 501 and Peter Foley 33. And that's how they come through down the home straight as they go under the last lap. Bert Finnegan in 4th place, chasing Folding through, down to the pit turn for the last time, and Junior Wayman is the lead car into the home straight, and there's the checkered, and Junior Wayman wins it. Second man home is Chris Alwell with Peter Folding 3rd and Bert Finnegan 4th. Home 5th was Richard Pratt with Dan Clark 6th, and behind them came Mike James and Alison Newson and Murray Harrison. Paul Harrison might just have made the bottom end of the top 10 from the one-lap handicap. We'll know when the charts are checked. And that's it, Mr. Starter. Reds, please. In for the top score, Grand National Heat winner 515, Frankie Wayman Jr. And as Frankie moves off, then the result check from the Grand National Heat. First 515, second was 501 Chris Elwell, and third 33 Peter Foley. In 4th place it was 55 Bert Finnegan, 5th place 162 Richard Pratt, and in 6th place 203
has it. 389 is second. And it's 424 and number 19. It's a little bit tight further down as Dave Berry's been 260 through. Nice man rolling over onto the dial level. 260 opening a little bit more pressure in this time. I think he's got there with Bobby Mike winning 424. No, number 30 John Davis trying to play back and still. Davis in number 30, Mike Hayward 424, Bill McGowan in 369 and Phil Bicknell number 7. And Paula, if you can hold them over on the far side until you hear from me, please. Carrying on down the yellows, we've got Rob Brassel in car number 265 and Phil Whittaker's the last of them in car number 177. The Blues moving up towards the top men in the sport. The blue roof cars are the A-graded drivers. They are Mark Webster in car number 226 and Matthew Bennett in 413. John Lawn drives car number 441. Just one Red Roof star-graded driver. That's Russ Humphrey in car number 113. Dave Beresford completes the lineup in car number 260. And one novice driver at the rear of the grid. That's Dave Hardy driving car number 197. 17 cars are on circuit racing over 16 laps. All is okay. We can move them away once more when you're ready. We'll take the first 8 through to this evening's Formula 1 final.
He's a great man. How do you know I was late to?
How do you know all these, he says. I've been preparing this week. It's the first time ever. Steve Reese has led them away then in car number 397 into lap number 1. And Steve Baxter is following him through in car number 19. Everybody's safely away into the first circuit. Already Dave Beresford in 260 is making progress from the rear. 197, Dave Hardy's got his problems. He's just coming round to start lap number 1. The leaders are coming right round behind him to complete lap number 1. And Steve Reese is leading in 397 from Steve Baxter in number 19. And it's Steve Burgess in 389. John Davis moving up in car number 30. Tracked by Mike Hayward in car number 424. Then it's John Ankers in number 80 with Phil Bicknell moving through on the inside in car number 7. Rob Bradsell is following him in car number 265. First of the blue tops to show is Mark Webster in car number 226. But Steve Reese has pulled out a good lead in these early stages. The end of lap number 2 and 397 has it. 389 is second. Then it's number 30 and 424 and number 19. It's a little bit tight further down as Dave Beresford in 260 moves through. And 197 still having trouble finding his way around. But no such problem so far for Steve Reese in 397. John Davis moves up to second then in car number 30. Then it's Steve Burgess in 389. Mike Hayward moving through on the inside as the 389 car goes wide on that pits turn. Steve Baxter's next up in car number 19. Then it's Rob Bradsell in 265. Mark Webster in car number 226. Phil Bicknell in number 7 just about to be passed down that far side by Dave Beresford in 260. Looks like Matthew Bennett in 413 has lost his way on that top turn. He's rejoining at the rear of the field. And John Davis has taken up the running in car number 30. Steve Reese is on the infield in 397. His race is run in heat number 1. Running from the yellow roof grade then, a drive we usually expect to see further back. John Davis making good use of his front of the grid starting position in car number 30. And on that turn we've got 389 doing the wall of death around the fence and rolling over onto his side. We'll have a wave yellow please Mr. Starter. The wave yellow flags go out. This indicates a race suspension down on the circuit. The cars must slow to rolling lap speed. No overtaking is allowed whilst the race suspension is in force. And your race leader, Mr. Starter, is John Davis in number 30. And we will draw the race leader down onto the start-finish line and roll the rest of the field in behind him, as it looks like it may take us a lap or two to get that 389 car sorted and back on its wheels. Tractor will move around to help with that, and the rest of the field will pull round towards the rear, and number 30 John Davis will pull up on the start-finish line.
Okay, Paul, with the whole 30 on the line, and let the left rest roll round, please.
So number 30 John Davis is leading from Mike Hayward in car number 424. Steve Baxter in number 19, Mark Webster in 226 and Rob Bradsell 265. Dave Beresford's lurking in 6th place at the moment in car number 260 with John Lawn in 441. Everybody else will pull in behind. I think those 7 cars that are down here on the home straight are in that position on the circuit and are in that position on the lap charts. So those are the leading 7 cars. We've got the 389 car of Steve Burgess being righted back onto its wheels on that pits turn. The driver all okay, he's safely out of the car and walking towards the centre green, not looking too impressed by it all. And the tractor will move in to remove that 389 car from the circuit. Looks like John Ankers has pulled to the infield as well in car number 80 over on the far side, and barring those two, and in fact Steve Reese in 397 who's parked up on the top turn, it'll be as we be started in heat number 1, Formula 1.
Okay, yeah, the whole round, we'll push him on the rolling lap, so we're going to let him go anyway. Line 9-7, I'll clear him to fair, but he pushed you over.
We'll push the John Ankers car around when John Davis, number 30, the race leader, gets over there. We'll push the John Ankers car around when John Davis, number 30, the race leader, gets over there. And 5 laps have been completed. We'll be running into lap number 6. 6 when the green flag shows again.
number 80 car looks to have been pushed onto the centre. The driver is climbing out of that car. And the rest of the field will move away.
The engine was flooded, that's the reason why it's not started.
And the engine flooded, we hear from over on that far side, so that car not running.
We're okay.
And the green flag flies, and we're back under racing conditions in Heat 1 Formula 1. John Davis leads them away once more in number 30. And clear track in front of him, and he's going to have to get away because Dave Beresford will be moving through very quickly now in car number 260. Number 30 and 424 then with 226. Dave Beresford goes fourth in car number 260. There's Steve Baxter in number 19, Rob Bradsell in 265 and John Lawn in 441. Phil Bicknell's had a trip across the centre green round the pits turn, but he's lost a few places and probably dropped out of the qualifying places now. And number 30 from 424, 260 looks favourite to me. Then it's 226, 265 and number 19. John Lawn is next up in car number 441. But another lap goes by and John Davis in number 30 leads. It's halfway next time, Mr. Starter, halfway. And Phil Bicknell parks up against the fence on the pits turn in number 7. And looks like Matthew Bennett in 413 got involved with him. Down the far side they go. Dave Beresford gets on the inside around that top turn. But number 30, John Davis, hangs on in there and continues to lead. The Union Jack goes out, signifying the halfway stage of Heat 1 Formula 1. 260 has the inside line again, but number 30 coming quickly around the outside to hang on to his advantage. John Davis putting up a good battle then. He's an ex-star graded driver, of course. And continuing to lead in heat number 1. Number 30, 260 putting a little bit more pressure in this time. I think he's got there. We've lost Mike Hayward in 424. No, number 30, John Davis, fights his way back and still holds on. Mike Hayward pulls off on this side. Matthew Bennett in 413 has gone out over on the far side. And still the race between the 1-2 is a very, very tight one. John Davis in number 30. 260 hammers the bumper in. It's 5 next time, Mr. Starter. 5. 260 Dave Beresford gets through. Number 30, John Davis, fighting back. He's not done yet. 260 pulls out half a dozen lengths around that top turn. 260 Dave Beresford, number 30 John Davis. Mark Webster has gone third in car number 226. Then it's John Lawn in 441 and Russ Humphrey in car number 113. 265 Rob Bradsell is next, with Eddie Roberts in car number 28 and Steve Baxter in 19 and Bill McGowan in car number 369. Phil Whittaker's next up in car number 177, but the race leader's through again. Russ Humphrey in a battle with John Lawn in car number 441. Down the far side those two cars go. They're running in 4th and 5th at the moment. But there's less than 3 laps remaining for the race leader. 260 Dave Beresford has the advantage from John Davis in number 30. 226 Mark Webster. There's 2 to run. And 260 Dave Beresford. I'm sure he would have wished to have been in the semi-final here at the Cruise Stadium this evening. Not so lucky in his semi-final at the Skegness Stadium a couple of weeks ago. Failed to qualify for the World Final at the first attempt. He will have another chance in the consolation semi-final, which is now just a couple of weeks away. .260 Dave Beresford then is into his final circuit. Down the far side he goes. Here's the final turn and the final lap. The checker flag goes up and Dave Beresford 260 canters in heat number 1 Formula 1. John Davis second in number 30. Mark Webster third in 226. Then it's John Lawn in 441 just ahead of Russ Humphrey in 113. Rob Bradsell will be next up in 265. From Steve Baxter in number 19. Bill McGowan in 369. Phil Whittaker in 177 goes through. Okay, Mr. Starter, that'll do us. We can have a red flag. The red flag goes out to end heat number 1 Formula 1. And Dave Beresford in car number 260 takes the victory. Round for your applause on his lap of honour. Result of the evening. Heat 1 Formula 1 is as follows. Dave Beresford was first in car number 260. And second place went to John Davis in car number 30. Third place, Mark Webster in car number 226. And John Lawn finished 4th in 441. Russ Humphrey was 5th in car number 1 at 1-3, and 6th Rob Bradsell 2-6-5. 7th place to Steve Baxter in car number 19, and 8th to Phil McGowan in car number 3-6-9. Those 8 cars will progress to the Formula 1 final. 9th went to Phil Whittaker in car number 177, and 10th to Eddie Roberts, number 28. All is well. Field just held momentarily at a standstill to ensure that the gaps are not being closed between the grades and that the handicaps are not being cut back on as they should be. And the green flag goes down and we're back under racing conditions. Heat number 2 is underway. Richard Thornton's quickly into his stride in 1:31. Wally Pittom's moving through in 1:34. They come through then to complete lap number 1. It's Rich Thornton in car number 131 from Wally Pittom 134. And it's Eddie Roberts in 28 with Paul Pennington moving up in car number 382. Mark Gilbank is next up in car number 21. There's Les Spencer in 98. Craig Howard in 52 just ahead of Vic Jordan in car number 332. Rob Pearce is forcing his way through on the inside in 175 ahead of Barry Heath in 343. First to the Starmen to show is the national points champion John Lund in car number 53 as Rob Pearce in 175 goes into a spin on that top turn and drops right to the rear of the field. Eddie Roberts and 382 Paul Pennington are hooked together and they've dropped right down as well, and Rich Thornton in 131 leads from Wally Pittom in 134. Then it's Mark Gilbank in car number 21, Les Spencer in 98, Craig Howard is next up in 52, John Lund in 53 moving ahead of Vic Jordan in 332, Rob Cowley in 73 is tracking him. The 28 and 382 have managed to extricate themselves finally and get back in the running, but they've lost a lot of ground. 131 then from 134. 98 is 3rd, 52 is 4th, John Lund goes 5th in car number 53, Rob Cowley next in 73, then it's Bobby Burns in 471 and Bert Finnegan in car number 55. 343, Barry Heath has lost time on that pit's turn. But Rich Thornton has got a good lead in car number 131. It's just about the length of the straight. 131 leads. 134 is second. There's Les Spencer in 98, Craig Howarth in 52, John Lund in 53, 73 Rob Cowley in 471 Bobby Burns. Bert Finnegan is moving up to join them in car number 55. Then it's Mark Gilbank in 21, Vic Jordan in 332 and Rob Pearce in 175. But the race leaders away and clear. Rich Thornton in car number 131. Passing those back markers down the far side. Wally Pittom is still second in 134. Les Spencer third in 98. It's halfway next time, Mr. Starter, halfway. That was halfway, Mr. Starter, I beg your pardon. 131, Rich Thornton. 134, Wally Pittom. 53, John Lund. 98, Les Spencer. But it's still looking good for the yellow top. Here he comes round to complete another one. 131 leads. John Lund has gone second now in 53. Wally Pittom goes back to third in 134. Les Spencer in 98. Bobby Burns in 471. Rob Cowley has lost his place in 73. It's 5 next time. It's start of 5 for Rich Thornton in 131. Who surely must have enough in hand. We've got another 2 cars hooked together. This time it's Les Spencer in 98 and Bobby Burns in 471. They sort themselves out, but 4 more cars have gone by them. 131 then. 53 is second, but he's a long, long way back. It's at least a third of a lap. Rich Thornton in 131. John Lund in 53. Bert Finnegan's gone third in 55, then it's Craig Howard in 52. Wally Pitton 134. Les Spencer putting the pressure on in 98 with Bobby Burns pressing him in car number 471. But another lap's gone by for the leader, and Rich Thornton in 131 is still looking good for victory. Paul Pennington in 382's pulled onto the infield on the far side, and it looks in fact that he's the first retirement from heat number 2, which now has just 2 laps to run. 131. Still has a good quarter of a lap to spare over 53. 55 is third. Craig Howard in 52, Rob Cowley in 73, Bobby Burns in 471, Les Spencer in 98, Wally Pitton in 134, Rob Pearce in 175, and Mark Gilbank in 21, Vic Jordan in 332. It's the last lap for the leader. The checker flag is raised. Rich Thornton comes down the home straight to win heat number 2 by a good distance in car number 131. John Lunt second in 53. Third Bert Finnegan in 55. Then it's Craig Howard in 52, Rob Cowley in 73, Bobby Burns in 471, Les Spencer in 98, Rob Pearce in 175, Wally Pitton in 134, and Mark Gilbank in 21. Okay, Mr. Starden, we'll have a red flag, please. So the red flag goes out, and Rover victory in heat number 2. Richard Thornton took up the running in the very early stages, and at the end of the 16 laps he was still there. Good distance clear. Car number 131 wins heat number 2. Please, Richard Thornton 131 wins heat number 2. Second, John Lunt, 53. Third, Bert Finnegan, 55. Fourth, Craig Howard, 52. Fifth, the Rob Cowley in car number 73. And sixth, Bobby Burns, 471. Seventh went to Les Spencer in car number 98. And eighth was 175, Rob Pearce. Those 8 will qualify for the final. 9th and 10th for Wally Pitton in car number 134. And Mark Gilbank in car number 21. Then to event number 3 on the programme, the second Formula 1 stock car World Championship semi-final for 1991. On inside front row, pole position, Peter Faulding in car number 33. He is from Rotherham, South Yorkshire. He's a former world champion. He won the World Championship in 1986 at the Coventry Stadium. And he's the 1988 and 89 World Long Track champion and the 1991 European champion as well. Inside row 2, Paul Harrison drives car number 2. He is from Rotherham, South Yorkshire. He won his first major title in the Formula 1 stock cars, winning the British Championship at the High Edge Raceway earlier in 1991. Row number 3, on the inside of that row, we have Derek Fairhurst driving car number 218. He's from Bolton, Greater Manchester, and he looks like he's in a borrowed car. Looks like the 361 Al Bateman car. Next up, from Loughborough in Leicestershire, occupying inside row 4, Gareth Bott drives car number 41. On row number 5, on the inside, it will be Phil Smith driving car number 109. Phil, a very experienced driver, returned to Formula 1 stock cars after a good few years off last year. He is from Huddersfield, West Yorkshire, starts inside row 5. Just behind him on inside row 6, from Melton Mowbray in Leicestershire, going very well in the 1991 season with that new car. Jeff Nichols drives car number 215. Coming through to collect their commemorative awards. 33, Peter Falding. Highest point scorer in the qualifying rounds gets him inside pole position. And Peter's top score was 35 points, which he managed at both Coventry and Scunthorpe. Back to the cars just emerging from the pits. Number 2, inside row 2, comes forward to collect his race winner's award, or rather his commemorative award. Paul's best qualifying score came from the Northampton Stadium in June, where he scored 28 points. Continuing the cars on the inside row of the grid, moving round that pit's turn. Car number 96 is Glindaff from Sandyacre in Nottinghamshire. He starts row number 8. And row number 9 is Will Yarrow in car number 22. On outside front, position number 2 on the grid, outside front row, Frankie Raymond Jr. drives car number 515. He is from Preston in Lancashire now, though originally from Silsden, North Yorkshire, of course. And he is the Trust Fund champion for 1991. Outside row 2 rather, Andy Hodgson drives car number 272. And he is from Murfield, West Yorkshire. Outside row 3, Ian Platts in car number 77. Got himself a good number of points, particularly at Scunthorpe in March. Secured his position on the grid. 87, Neil Brigg has emerged from the pits. He will start on outside row number 4. He is from Huddersfield, West Yorkshire. And riding behind him, one car going very, very well here at the Crewe Stadium this season. That's Richard Mason driving car number 202. Drives car number 85. Ray is from Blackburn in Lancashire. He was world champion in 1989, winning that title at the Coventry Stadium. He starts outside row 6. Upset a lot of people. A great surprise when he won the qualifying round at the Hednesford Raceway, the venue for the world final, of course. And he won the final there and scored a hatful of points in May. And he's next in car number 212. Frankie is from Silsden, North Yorkshire, of course. He starts outside row number 7. He is a former world champion. He's a former national points champion. A very, very experienced driver now. Rather on row number 9 will be Warren Hunter in car number 20. Warren is from Preston in Lancashire. Next in line on the outside row, with Paul Higgins withdrawn from the lineup, will be Mal Brown in car number 34. And Mal comes from Liversedge in West Yorkshire. Got Paul Marler down here just collecting his commemorative trophy in car number 183. His best qualifying performance came here at Crewe in April. He'll be looking for another good result tonight. Jeff Alderson in 486 comes forward to collect his trophy. He got onto the rear of the grid. Guys drives car number 236. He's from Liversedge, West Yorkshire, and will start on row 13. Drivers continue to move around to the start-finish line to collect their commemorative trophies. All drivers who have qualified via the qualifying round receive a commemorative trophy to something to remember their efforts. Mark Duxbury collects his from promoter Jim Wilkinson. His best qualifying score came from Scunthorpe in June and has been enough to get him in as a reserve into this semi-final. Frankie Wayman Jr. then coming up next, car number 515 to collect his trophy. Starting on outside front row, Frankie's best qualifying score was from Hartlepool in mid-May.
This lap, the gaps will be maintained while left in the grid. Have been informed.
Okay, once again the cars will commence racing then at the end of this lap, and the gaps will be maintained in the grid where the non-starters should be lined up. Those gaps will be maintained. 25 laps of Formula 1 stock car racing here at the Crewe Stadium, the 1991 World Championship semi-final. We're looking for 10 for the Formula 1 World Championship final at Hednesford on September the 15th. And they are rolling. Yellow lights. Not yet. As usual, when the star drivers are at the front, it's a very slow and sedate rolling lap.
They'll do that folder, just ignore them buggers.
And there's the green, they're racing in a Formula 1 semi-final. 33, Peter Paulding makes the drop and leads them away from 515, Frankie Raymond Jr. and number 2, Paul Harrison. All the front of the grid are away into the first circuit, 272. Andy Hodgson's lost his place slightly around that first turn. And 486, Jeff Alderson's got a little bit of drift as well. And the first one to come to grief is John Paget in car number 449. 218, Derek Fairhurst is dropping back as well from starting near the front. End of lap number 1, and it's Peter Paulding in 33. Frankie Raymond Jr. in 515. Paul Harrison in number 2. Ian Platts in 77. Andy Hodgson in 272. 218, Derek Fairhurst. Neil Brigg in car number 87. Phil Smith in 109. 128, John Wright's had a spin, and we've got one car up over the infield mounds, difficult to identify from here. Could be Warren Hunter in number 20. 33 is leading, 515 second, number 2 and 77, 272 Andy Hudson moving through, past the lap car of 128 John Wright, then it's Neil Brigg in 87, Phil Smith in car number 109, Derek Fairhurst in 218, Ray Tilsley in 85, Richard Mason in 202 with Gaz Bott in 41, 33 and 515, problems for Frankie Raymond in 212, 33 gets through, 515 gets held up, number 2 Paul Harrison gets through, does he? No he doesn't. 515 and 272 get away. 87 escapes, number 2 finally manages to fight his way out, but that has left 33 Peter Paulding away by a street. 33 leads it. 215 Jeff Nichols spins out. 515 Frankie Raymond Jr. is second. 272 Andy Hudson is third. Fourth is Neil Brigg in 87. Then it's Derek Fairhurst in 218. Paul Harrison moving through in number 2 with Richard Mason in 202, loses his way and holds up Phil Smith in 109. Gaz Bott in 41, 85, Ray Tilsley gets quickly around the outside of those, and 218 is on the infield and out of the running. Got Glindaft in 96 climbing from his car on the infield. And 77 Ian Platts is over the mounds on the top turn and will go no further. Peter Paulding then in car number 33 is clear. 87 Neil Brigg's being delayed now. He was going very well, and 202 Richard Mason isn't going to go very much further either. Problems with the rear end. 515 is second. 272 has got back to third. Paul Harrison fourth in number 2. Ray Tilsley fifth in 85. 6 is 87 Neil Brigg. Then it's Gareth Bott in car number 41. From Phil Smith in 109, and the race leader is through again.
Black flag 202.
A black flag for 202, Mr. Starter. A black flag for 202 if he makes it round again. Looks like 449 John Paget is onto the infield and will go no further in this semi-final. Here comes the race leader through to complete another lap then. 33, Peter Paulding has it. Frankie Raymond Jr. is second in 515, he goes through. Then it's Andy Hodgson third in 272. Fourth, Paul Harrison number 2. Paul Marler gets delayed on that pits turn. Ray Tilsley's running fifth in car number 85 from Neil Brigg, sixth in 87. Then it's Gareth Bott in 41. And there's only 6 or 7 on the same lap because the race leader's through again. Phil Smith is 8th in car number 109. Problems on that top turn. Looks like Mick Ives in 236 has got involved up there. A little bit difficult to see who he's gone in with. Warren Hunter has lost his way up there as well in number 20. It's halfway next time, Mr. Starter, halfway. And 33, Peter Paulding. Quite a ruck of cars on the entrance to that top turn, but the race leader gets through. 33 leads. 515 is second. .272 third. Number 2 is fourth. Ray Tilsley fifth in car number 85. Not sure whether Neil Brigg's there. He may have lost a lap in car number 87. But he's got the race leader moving in on him now. Track is more or less cleared on that top turn and just 2 cars have been left there. And the race leader through to complete another circuit. 33 from 515. Frankie Wayman Jr. is beginning to cut back the leeway now in car number 515 with a clear track in front of him. The first two are well clear of Andy Hodgson in 272. Paul Harrison in number 2. We've got another car over the mounds on the far side. Can't identify that one from here. 33, 515. Still moving closer. I think that's Mark Brown in 34 who's parked up on the top turn. We've lost Bekijk down here on the home straight 236. 33 and 515 are still the 1-2. 272 is third. Fourth and Paul Harrison in number 2. Fifth is Ray Tilsley 85. And Frankie Wayman Jr. has gone in on that top turn and he's got problems up there. And that has allowed 33 to get right away. Looks like the 515 car won't be going any further. 272 Andy Hodgson will go second. Paul Harrison up to third in number 2 and Ray Tilsley fourth in car number 85. Frankie Wayman Jr. abandons his car in mid-circuit on that top turn, leaps the safety fence and won't make the final at the first time of asking. It's 5 next time, Mr. Starter, 5, and Peter Paulding looks to have this one in the bag. Closing stages of the Formula 1 semi-final, and 33 Peter Paulding is leading from 272 Andy Hodgson, number 2 Paul Harrison is third, Ray Tilsley's moving up quickly now in car number 85, fourth. Fifth, Neil Brigg in 87. Sixth is Phil Smith in 109. These minor places are going to take some sorting out at the end. Gaspard in car number 41 has in fact gone in with 515 Frankie Wayman Jr. on that top turn. There's only 11 still running. And they're all going to make it bar one. And this time around there are 3 to go. Peter Paulding in 33. And looks like they'll all be driving for the finish now. 272 second, number 2 is third, 85 fourth. Neil Brigg fifth in 87. Could be Phil Smith sixth in car number 109. But there's the last lap. Peter Paulding in 33, cruising into his final circuit. We're going to need to keep them going at the end of this, Mr. Starter, for quite a while. Here he comes round the final turn, down the home straight to win the semi-final. Peter Paulding in car number 33 wins it by a huge distance. From Andy Hodgson 272, Paul Harrison in number 2, Ray Tilsley in 85. The rest of the placings will have to be confirmed. Could be Neil Brigg fifth in car number 87. And we still need to keep them going, Mr. Starter. Okay, Mr. Starter, that'll do us. Red flag, please. Championship final. The 1991 British champion, Paul Harrison, takes third in car number 2. In second place, a great result for the driver in his first full season of Formula 1 stock car racing. And the second row starting position at Hednesford. Andy Hodgson second in car number 2, 7-2. And the winner, securing front of the grid for the Hednesford World Championship final on the 15th of September, former world champion Peter Falding, car number 33. So the photograph's being taken of the 1, 2, 3. And as soon as we can find a suitable vehicle, we'll move them away on their lap of honour for your applause all the way around the stadium. Formula 1 Stock Car World Championship semi-final. Apologies for that slight silence whilst the radio transmission was going on. We have a full and confirmed result then of the 1991 World semi-final. It looks like this. Peter Falding was first in car number 33 and second was Andy Hodgson 272. Third place went to Paul Harrison in car number 2 and fourth Ray Tilsley 85. Fifth place to Neil Brigg in car number 87. And sixth was Mark Duxbury 234. Seventh, John Wright in car number 128. And eighth, Phil Smith 109. Ninth was Will Yarrow in car number 22. And 10th, Jeff Nichols 215. Those 10 cars will qualify for the World Championship semi-final at Hednesford. They will also progress to tonight's meeting final. The only other car to finish in 11th place was Ian Baggott in car number 538.
Continues.
And there's the green. Formula 1 consolation underway. Steve Reach quickly into his stride in 397. Everybody else moving away into the first circuit. 77 Ian Platt's got delayed. .397 Steve Reese is leading then. 449 John Padgett goes second ahead of Steve Burgess in 389. Then it's Mark Gilbank in 21. Pressure really being applied further back by Frankie Wayman in 212. 413 Matthew Bennett's on the infield already with a flat tyre. And 397 leads. 449 second, 389 is third. Mark Gilbank fourth in 21. Wally Pittam in 134. Vic Jordan in 332. 34 Mile Brown swiped wide by Warren Hunter in number 20. 212 Frankie Wayman moves through. Richard Mason is moving through as well in car number 202. 397 leads. 449 second. Then it's 389 and 21. Once again 34 Mile Brown feeling the force, this time from 202 Richard Mason. We lost Eddie Roberts in 28, he's another one on the infield with a flat tyre in the early stages. 397, Steve Reese still from 449 John Padgett. 389 Steve Burgess has got a problem, he's got a flat as well. But the bumpers are really flying in further down. 212, Frankie Wayman is still improving his position. And over, we've got to roll over a car on its roof, we'll have a wave, yellows. Car on its roof on that pitch turn, we can't identify that one from here, I'm not sure who that is at all. The driver is already out of the car. And we'll get that car back on its wheels and clear of the circuit. Okay, away they go then with 397 and 449. Number 20 and 212. Green out again, and 397 leads them away once more from 449. Down the far side, Steve Reese in 397, 449 John Paget. Number 20 Warren Hunter, 449 slips through to the lead into that top turn. 397 drops back second, number 20 is going to move through to take that second place, trapped through by 212. Then it's 202 Richard Mason. 202 drifting wide into that turn, catches a 197 Dave Hardy car and loses his momentum. So 449, number 20 and 212 at a 1-2-3 in the Formula 1 Constellation. Number 77 Ian Platts pinning 221 Mark Gilbank and moving up to take that place from him. John Paget in 449 from Warren Hunter, number 20 and 212 Frankie Wayman. Then there's a gap to Ian Platts in 77, moving ahead of Steve Reese in 397. Then it's Mal Brown in 34, Glyn Daft in 96 and 134 Wally Pittham. Then it's Paul Pennington 382 with Mark Gilbank in 21. It's halfway, Mr. Starter. John Paget has got number 20, Warren Hunter putting the pressure in now. Around that pit's turn, 212. Frankie Wayman is in close attendance. Down the far side, 449 John Paget throwing the car wide and hanging on to his advantage. Through to complete another circuit, 449 from number 20 and 212. 5 next time, Mr. Starter, 5. The 1-2-3 come out of the pit's turn and head for the far side. And still John Paget in 449, leads Warren Hunter in number 20. Frankie Wayman in 212. Ian Platts is fourth in car number 77. And John Paget goes wide into the fence down the home straight, and number 20 Warren Hunter's taken up the running. 212 Frankie Wayman goes second. 449 drops back third. 77 is running fourth. Steve Reese is fifth in 397. 6 is Mal Brown in 34. Then it's Glyn Daft in 96. Wally Pittham in 134. Warren Hunter then, car number 20. Leads the Formula 1 Constellation, 212 Frankie Wayman. Looking for the right moment to make his challenge. There are 3 laps to run. There's a couple of back markers in front of the race leader now. The 212 car closes right up on his back bumper. And 96 pulls right out in front of him. The number 20 car dispatched to the centre green, and 212 takes up the running. Warren Hunter ends up over the mounds on the infield and could have gone as far as he's going. 212. 77 second. John Paget is third now in 449. Fourth Mal Brown 34. Fifth Steve Reese in 397. Warren Hunter has got back sixth in car number 20. There's only those on the same lap. Frankie Wayman starts his final circuit in car number 212. Through the final turn, Frankie Wayman in 212 wins the Formula 1 Constellation. Ian Platt second in 77. We need to keep them going, Mr. Starter. Third place will go to John Paget in 449. Fourth to Mal Brown in 34. Have a red flag, Mr. Starter, a red flag. And we need a fire extinguisher to that 34 car. So 212 Frankie Wayman takes a victory in the Formula 1 Constellation, secures his place on the grid for the Formula 1 final. Formula 1 Constellation. Here we go with the full results. Frankie Wayne was first in car number 212, Ian Platt second, 77. Third, John Paget in car number 449, and fourth, Mal Brown, 34. Fifth, Warren Hunter in number 20, and sixth, Steve Reese, 397. Wally Pitton finished seventh in car number 134, and eighth, Mark Gilbank, number 21. Paul Pennington finished 9th in car number 382, and 10th was Dave Hardy, 197. It was 212, 77, 449, 34, Bill Smith. 26 cars are on circuit for the Formula 1 final. A whole host of red tops at the back. 24 laps will be the racing distance. Too quickly that time around. Much too quickly for the starter's liking. The green flag was nowhere near being shown. So the cars will form up again in graded order.
Yes, that one with you, Paul. Have a word with 131 and tell him that the green flag starts the race, not him.
So Rich Thornton 131 a little bit over enthusiastic that time around. Everybody drops back into graded positions.
Yes, we don't got it on the two that are there, Dave. They were on the front of the grid as we should remain, so it's 131.
Okay, Richard Thornton will be demoted to the
yellow tops for that false start. And the rest of the field will form up as was. And this time John Paget in 449 and John Davis in number 30 will lead them away. Okay, we're under rolling lap conditions once again. There's the green this time. John Davis quickly into his stride in number 30. Leads John Paget and 449 and Mark Dusby 234 into the first circuit. Everybody's away into lap number 1. First to come to grief, Bill McGowan in 369 and Mark Gilbank in 21 over on the far side. And 131 Rich Thornton was involved. Number 30 and 449 then with 234 and 265. 77 Ian Platts is leading the red top charge, chased by Paul Harrison in number 2 and Neil Brigg in 87. 33 Peter Faulding's moving through. 134 Wally Pittom's gone out over on the far side, as has Phil Smith I think in car number 109, and 131 Richard Thornton's gone in again. We look back for the leader then, And it's John Paget in 449. John Davis in number 30. 234 Mark Duxbury. Then it's Warren Hunter number 20 with Rob Bradsell 265. Rob Pearce in 175 with 77 Ian Platts being passed on the inside now by Paul Harrison in number 2. 212 goes out. 226 and 55 really get it together. And 77 is up to put the pressure on 175. 55 Bert Finnegan and 226 Mark Webster having a bit of a tussle there. And 449 John Paget leads number 30 John Davis. Then it's 234 Mark Duxbury. Warren Hunter in number 20. Through comes Ian Platts in 77. From Rob Pearce in 175 and number 2 Paul Harrison. 131 Rich Slaughter attacking the race leader, but 449 hangs on in there. 449 and number 30. 234 is third. Number 20 Warren Hunter is fourth. 212 Frankie Raymond and 55 Bert Finnegan both abandon their cars on the pits turn. 109 Phil Smith pulls off with a flat. 131 Richard Thornton takes 215 Jeff Nichols to the fence. The race leader disappears over the infield mounds. And John Davis in number 30 takes up the running. Rob Pearce in 175 has gone into that pile on the pits turn. 226 Mark Webster's on the infield. And John Davis in number 30 leads. From Mark Duxbury 234. Ian Platts in 77. Number 2 Paul Harrison. Then it's Warren Hunter in number 20. 87 Neil Brigg. 471 Bobby Burns and 33 Peter Faulding. Number 30. Got a couple of back markers between himself and the second place car. That's Mark Duxbury in 234. Ian Platts third in 77. Moving that 234 car wide and going second. Two, 3-4 comes back at him. Number 2 Paul Harrison joins in, moves up to third. 2-3-4 drops back to fourth. Rich Thornton in 131's got more problems over on the far side. John Davis in number 30, it's halfway Mr. Steiner next time around. 77 and number 2, 2-3-4 and number 20, 87 and 471, 33 and 53 with 260. Then it's Rob Cowley in 73 and Russ Humphrey 113. But still John Davis in number 30 leads the Formula 1 final. 53 John Lund pushed wide by 471 Bobby Burns on that pits turn. And the bumpers are really flying in. Number 2 Paul Harrison has gone second now. Ian Platts third in car number 77. The race leader has been removed by 272 Andy Hodgson, and number 2 and 77 squeeze through. 2-3-4 is third. 87 Neil Brigg is fourth. 77 Ian Platts has got a problem. He drops back very, very suddenly. 87 Neil Brigg overcuts it coming out of that turn and disappears over the infield mounds. And number 2 Paul Harrison has the advantage in the Formula 1 final. '53 John Lund crawls onto the infield. And number 2 leads. 2-3-4 is second. 471 is third, then it's 33 fourth and 260 fifth. 234 has been removed by 175 Rob Pearce, and he'll go no further. But Paul Harrison has a big lead now in car number 2. 471 Bobby Burns is his nearest challenger, but he's got quarter of a lap to make up. 33 Peter Faulding third, 260 Dave Beresford fourth, 73 Rob Cowley is fifth. Then it's Warren Hunter in number 20 and Russ Humphrey 113, Rob Brassel 265 and Andy Hodgson 272. It's 5 next time, this is starter 5. Paul Harrison in number 2 is well clear of his field. Down the far side he goes. 471 Bobby Burns has got 33. Peter Fawling for company now. 260 Dave Beresford fourth. Still Warren Hunter's running fifth in number 20 from Rob Cowley, 73, 113 Ross Humphrey. But the race leaders through again. There's only 9 cars still running in the Formula 1 final. And 3 laps remain for the leader. Paul Harrison in number 2. 33 Peter Fawling has got up for second ahead of Bobby Burns in 471. They charge past that back marker 265. 260 is fourth from number 20, 73 and 113. Last lap then, Paul Harrison in number 2. Already taken third position in the World Championship semi-final. He's going to add the final to that one. Number 2, Paul Harrison, wins the Formula 1 final. Peter Fawling second this time in car number 33. Bobby Burns third in 471. Dave Beresford fourth in 260. Rob Cowley will be fifth home in car number 73 from Russ Humphrey 113. Then it will be Andy Hodgson in 272. Okay, Mr. Stardo, red flag please. Only the 8 cars completed. Of the Formula 1 final. We have a call for 55 Bert Finnick into race control. Number 2 Paul Harrison was first in the Formula 1 final, 33 Peter Fawling second. Third was 471 Bobby Burns and fourth was 260 Dave Beresford. Fifth place Rob Cowley in car number 73 and sixth Russ Humphrey 113. 7th was 272 Andy Hodgson and 8th Rob Bradsell 265. Only those 8 cars completed. There was number 2 33 471 260 73 113 272 and 265. And 20 laps of racing. Very quickly those great awards then. Number 19 Steve Baxter in the whites, 265 Rob Bradsell in the yellows and 128 John Wright in the blues because he bothered to come up and ask for it.
Okay, let him go. Okay, Paul.
You only got 20 cars?
Yeah, sure. I'm 16 minutes in. 16.
And there's the green. 1 or 2 are getting a bit excited, but we're under racing conditions now. 332 Vic Jordan, the early pace setter then. 7 73 Rob Cowley gets swept aside by those behind. Rejoins at the back. 332 at the end of lap number 1 from John Davis in number 30. Barry Heath in 343, Rob Bradsell 265. Frankie Wayman Jr. is already making good progress from the res in 515, and Frankie Sr. has got caught up with Neil Brigg in 87. Those two both go over the infield mounds. I still don't think they've unhooked themselves. Yes, they have. They both back off. But drop right on down. And 332 leads. Number 30 second. 343 is third. Then it's Les Spencer in 98. Frankie Jr. in 515. Rob Bradsell 265. 109 Phil Smith's got a problem. The rest of the field is going past. 382 Paul Pennington and 413 Matthew Bennett gets taken towards the infield. 77 Ian Platts has had a small diversion as well on that far side. 332 who leads it. Number 30 is second. 87 Neil Briggs got problems as well. 515 goes third. 98 is fourth. 265 Rob Bradsell is still fifth. Then it's Peter Paulding in 33. 471 Bobby Burns. Lead is about to change. 515 Frankie Wayman Jr. alongside 332 tries to get in the rush off, but the star-graded driver is through. .515 332 number 30 98 and 33 471 265 and 53 260. And it's Andy Hodgson in 272. Rob Cowley in 73 and Russ Humphrey in 113 have been closely matched all night. It's halfway, Mr. Starter. 515 absolutely throwing it around. Plays 109, tootling round the outside. Frankie Wayman Jr. then in 515. 332 Vic Jordan. 98 Les Spencer moves ahead of John Davis in number 30. 33 Peter Paulding and 471 Bobby Burns force their way through two. It's 5 next time, start at 5. And 515. Still Vic Jordan in 332 is hanging on in there second, but 33 Peter Paulding is moving in behind him now. .98 Les Spencer is fourth, fifth Bobby Burns in 471. Then it's John Davis 6th in number 30, John Lund 7th in 53. Dave Beresford 8th, he's been a little bit out of sorts tonight in car number 260. 515 Frankie Wayman Jr. almost threw it into the fence then on the pit turn, but got away again. Gets past the 77 Ian Platt's car, who's using most of the track. 515 from 33. 272 Andy Hodgson trying to bundle 260 Dave Beresford aside. Doesn't make it. It's the last couple of laps of the last race of the night, the Grand National qualifying heat. Number 30 John Davis has fallen by the wayside right in these closing stages, chops across the track right in front of the race leader, but here's Frankie Jr. to start his last lap. He's going to get some small consolation for his failure in the semi-final. Down the far side he goes. And here's the checker flag for him. Frankie Wayman Jr. in 5.15 wins the Grand National. Peter Falding second in 33. Bobby Burns third in 4.71. From Les Spencer 98. 3.32 Vic Jordan. 53 John Long. 2.60 Dave Beresford. 1.13 Russ Humphrey. Okay, Mr. Starter, that'll do us. A red flag, please. Third place, Bobby Burns, 4.71. Fourth, Les Spencer, 98. Fifth, Vic Jordan in car number 3.32. And sixth, John Lund, 53. Seventh was Dave Beresford in car number 2.60. And eighth, 1.13, Russ Humphrey. Ninth place to Frankie Wayman in 2.12. And 10th, 2.72, Andy Hodgson. It was 5.15, 33, 4.71, 98. 332, 53, 260, 113, 212 and 272. Don't forget the British.
John Paget takes them away down to the first turn in 4.49%. And Rob Scriven in 1.17. Australia's Mike Cavan
'By now I should think the butterflies have gone.
Those drivers as they get down to the business in hand. That's the green, they've got to go. John Paget takes them away down to the first turn in 4.49, pursued by Mal Brown 37 and Rob Scriven in 1.17. Round the pit turn they go, a lot of traffic there, someone's sideways on down the back straight, it's Mike Hayward 4.24. Mike Ives has turned to face the oncoming traffic and Derek Fairhurst has gone out down there, and here come the leaders through. It's Mal Brown 34 from Ian Bagot 5.38. Losing ground down there was Warren Hunter, number 20, gone to the infield. Starmen pushing their way through, and the best of the Reds is Junior Wayman. He's sideways on that pit turn, but got away with it. We've lost John Paget down there. And Mal Brown is the leader on the home straight in 34 from Rob Scriven in 1.17 and Phil Wilton in number 6. Gareth Bott's gone to the fence on the turnstile bend. He's been T-boned by David Toulson in 86. And it's Mal Brown 34 who still leads. Phil Wilton's gone second now in number 6 as they come back to the home straight. More cars going out on that pit turn, and Dave Beresford's gone over there, and so's Nigel Wharton. Richard Mason's in trouble over there, and it looks like Paul Marler as well. And it's 34 Mal Brown who still has the lead down the back straight, in amongst the back markers now. Phil Wilton running second in number 6 as they go down to that turnstile bend again. We've got Warren Hunter third in number 20 and Mark Webster 4, and then it's Junior Wayman 5. Into the home straight they come. The top 3 have gone through. Mark Webster goes through 4th. Coming through in 5th, it's Junior Wayman. In behind them Frankie Wayman, and then Glyn Daft, and then Rob Cowley, and then John Lawn and Dave Beresford back trying to get with them. Quite a traffic jam at the start of the back straight, and we've lost fourth place Mark Webster. He's gone to the infield over there, 2:26. Gareth Butt's gone to the fence again. Michael Ives puts him there on the start of the back straight. And it's 34 Mal Brown, or at least it was last time round. And here he comes again on the home straight. 34 Mal Brown, the leader. Phil Wilton second in number 6, but coming under pressure now from, Warren Hunter second, and Phil Wilton third and Junior Wayman 4. Frankie Wayman's 5 and John Lawn 6. In behind them it's Glyn Daft 7 and Rob Cowley 8, and Dave Beresford is 9th. And back completing the top 10, it's Ian Bagert. And we've just gone quarter distance in this consolation semi. Gareth Bott coming back on again. Rob Cowley's in trouble. He's tangled out with Glyn Daft down the back straight. Cowley's got a battle, and he won't be going to the big one at Hensford. And still Mal Brown, the yellow top, leads them through in 34. The Waymans pacing themselves through the field. Junior Wayman leading Senior Wayman, and up the paces they go. And Mal Brown's on the pit turn in the lead in 34. Warren Hunter second in 20, Junior Wayman third, Frankie Wayman 4, Phil Wilton 5, Dave Beresford through to 6. Glyn Daft is 7 and John Lawn's gone from the top 10. And Nigel Wharton's taken out by Frankie Wayman down the back straight. Wharton spins away to the infield over a barrel. He's another one who's not going to Hensford. And still the yellow top leads them, Mal Brown. He's broken away from the field. And now Junior Wayman making his presence felt. He's coming through hard. He's left Frankie Senior behind. Mal Brown is through again down the home straight, and that's the halfway. We've gone halfway in the consolation semi, and it's 34 Mal Brown the leader. Dave Beresford losing ground on the turnstile bend. Junior Wayman has gone second, Warren Hunter third, and we'll check them through this time round. 34 Mal Brown the leader. Then there's a long gap back to second place, and that's now Junior Wayman in 5:15. In third is number 21 Hunter, with Frankie Wayman fourth in 2:12. Fifth is number 6 Phil Wilton. Sixth is 2:60 Dave Beresford. 7:96 Glyn Daft, and 8th Ian Bagert in 5:38. And they're the last ones left on the lead lap. Just 8 of them battling it out. And still Mal Brown has lead position in 34. Junior Wayman in second. They've got a back marker in front of him. Looks like could be Richard Mason, 2:02. And Frankie Wayman's through to third, past the Part Les Spencer car, and I think Warren Hunter's gone missing up on that pit turn. And the leader's gone. Mal Brown's in trouble on that pit turn, and Junior Wayman's gone as well. And Frankie Wayman coming through on the infield, and it's Frankie Wayman the leader in 2:12, and Mal Brown 34. And Phil Wilton's gone third, and Junior Wayman fourth, now regaining third. Through they come again, 34 Mal Brown from 2:12, Frankie Wayman. And they've got 5 to run next time. So it's Mal Brown from Frankie Wayman, and then Junior Wayman, and he's in trouble again on that pit turn. And it's Dave Beresford who's gone third. And Mal Brown, who's put up such a fight, is still fighting to hold on to the lead, but Frankie Wayman's took him with 5 to run. Junior Wayman's gone to the fence on the back straight. And that was a big shunt down the back straight. Junior Wayman still moving, and so I think is Gareth Bott who was involved. They've got 4 to run this time through. And it's Mal Brown chasing now after Frankie Wayman, with Dave Beresford back in third. Wayman the leader in 2:12. Mal Brown second and Dave Beresford third. We got Warren Hunter 4, Phil Wilton 5. Behind Phil Wilton back in 6th place. Looking further on down the track, it looks like Glyn Daft, and they're only the 6 on the lead lap left. Frankie Wayman slows down, he takes it steady in the 2:12 car. Into the back straight he goes, past his son whose hopes have been dashed on the back straight fence. So it's Frankie Wayman the leader, and Mal Brown's valiant fight has come to nothing. Dave Beresford has gone second. Frankie Wayman the leader in 2:12. Dave Beresford second in 2:60. Looking back down track, it's Warren Hunter third, and Mal Brown 4, and Phil Wilton 5. And the luckless Mal Brown seems to have blown a tyre. Another of the hard luck stories on the road to the Gold Roof at Hensford. But it's Frankie Wayman the leader, 2:12 from Dave Beresford 2:60. through the 23 car carnage. 2-star men look like making it to Hensford. 5th place Glindaft has gone to the fence on the pit turn. And into the home straight they come, heading for Hensford on the world final. It's Frankie Wayman the winner in 2-1-2. Dave Beresford takes 2nd place in 2-6-0. And we check them through as they come home, with Warren Hunter taking 3rd in number 20. 4th man home is going to be Phil Wilton, I think, in number 6. And it looks as though only 4 or 5 have finished on that lead lap as the rest of them come through. The unfortunate Mal Brown, who came so close to pulling it off in 34. And then 183 Paul Marler, 226 Mark Webster, Gareth Budd, who was 2 or 3 laps down on them, Richard Mason in 202. And Michael Ives 236, and that looks like the complete list of finishers. And that's it, Miss Starter. Reds, please. And from Silsden, West Yorks, 2-1-2, Frankie Wainman.
Yes, it's that 13th now, never started the race.
Cars on the grid for this one.
In heat 3 they get the green flag and go racing. Tony Flanagan leads them off in 1-3-3, and airborne down the home straight there was Paul Pennington in 3-8-2. 18 cars confirmed got away into the race. David Hardy at the back of the pack, 197. Novice driver on his Scunthorpe debut is in fact mechanic to Tony Smith. There's a shunt on the back straight which has been put paid to Andy Hodgson, 272, Kev Smith 64. Cost Paul Harrison a lot of time, and also cost another star man some time, the star woman Jane Bean. A shunt on the home straight takes out Stuart Smith and Barry Heath. Now Richard Thornton was the other one involved. So 2 hefty shunts earlier on taking out some of the star graders. Paul Pennington back onto the infield in 3-8-2. David Hardy across track there, costing Peter Fording a bit of time in 33. And race leader last time round was, I think, Andy Malthouse in 3-1-4. And the leading bunch are through down to the pit turn. And it's Mark Duxbury who has the lead in 2-3-4 down the back straight. Around the turnstile bend they come, with Duxbury in lead position in 2-3-4. Running second is 109 Phil Smith, with 215 Jeff Nichols third, 33 Peter Foley is fourth, and 53 John Lund is fifth. In 6th place it's 309 Jane Bean, Paul Harrison 7th in number 2. And Mark Duxbury comes through again in 2-3-4. Behind him on track is Richard Thornton, who could well be a lap down on the charts at 1-3-1. 115 Peter Hayes rolls onto the infield down the back straight. We've got 2 in the fence on turn 4, and Duxbury leads them through on the home straight. From Phil Smith in second and Peter Folding third. John Lund moves into 4th, dropping Jeff Nichols down to 5. Those 5 have gone clear off the field. So Duxbury 2-3-4 the leader, through with another lap completed. Phil Smith second in 109 and Peter Folding third in 33. John Lund is 4th in 53. Behind them comes Jeff Nichols in 2-1-5, and then Paul Harrison number 2 and Jane Bean 3-09. So Duxbury the leader, 2-3-4. Peter Folding has now relieved Phil Smith the second. That was the halfway, so we are into the second half. And it's still Mark Duxbury up front, Peter Folding motoring hard and trying to get with him in the 33 car. Jane Bean sideways on into the turnstile bend, further on down the places. The leaders on the charts are down around that turnstile bend at this moment. Jane Bean has hooked up with Barry Heath, and the two of them glide away onto the infield. The leaders go past her on the circuit. It's Mark Duxbury 2-3-4 from Peter Faulding 33, and this time through they've got 5 to run. Faulding tries the snooker effect and tries to get Thornton under the back of Duxbury, and it works, and Faulding's the leader. They come through with 5 to run. It's Faulding first, Duxbury second. Phil Smith is in third, John Lund is fourth. Then on down the back straight with Peter Faulding going clear at the front. There's very little traffic in front of him. He's got the full length of the straight clear as he comes through down towards the pit turn. 33, Faulding the leader. Duxbury second in 2-3-4. Phil Smith third and John Lund fourth. And those four have gone clear of the field. Paul Harrison just hanging on to a place in the top 6 with Jeff Nichols completing that 6. And Faulding is clear in 33. Duxbury second, Phil Smith battling with lap down Richard Thornton. Smith in 109, Thornton in 131, and Smith gets rid of him on the pit turn. Meanwhile on the turnstile bend, Peter Faulding lapping the 6th place man on the charts, that's Jeff Nichols. And Faulding in 33 moves on. Duxbury still trying to stay with him in 2-3-4, and Faulding certainly hasn't shaken off the Duxbury challenge. But we're going through the closing stages, and there's just 1 lap to run now for Peter Faulding as he comes through onto his last. It's 33 the leader, 2-3-4 second, and 109 third. And that's how they go round for the final time in 8-3. Down to the turnstile bend. And coming back onto the home straight to collect the checkered, it's 33, Peter Faulding the winner. Mark Duxbury comes home second in 2-3-4. Phil Smith finishes third in 109 with John Lund fourth. Paul Harrison dropping a little way back in the closing stages, but completes the distance in car number 2. The genial Tom at the wheel, and co-sponsored by Julie Scaffolding, Nelson Derby Stockcar Supporters Club on the back of the wagon. The winner of 8-3 tonight, number 33, Peter Faulding.
Right, Caroline, they're all yours once the reds are in position.
Right, Caroline's got the green flag ready, and they're off. The start of 16 laps. It's 4-4-5, Roger Green into the Hurley lead. Roger tiptoes around the first bend, Anthony Flanagan spins out already. So it's 4:45, Roger Green leading from 200. Young Frankie Wayman already goes by Russ Humphries at the back. The second place car's already spun out, that's 200, Owen Brown's out, so it's Roger Green, 4:45, leading from 139. Stuart Smith, a big pile up now. On the third and fourth bend, it's delayed 64, it's delayed 98. Ray Williams tiptoes through, he's come through with Frankie Raymond Jr. on his back bumper. Those cars on the third and fourth bend pretty much sorting themselves out now. Kev Smith lost a lot of time, just rejoins the race. Right, it's the start of the second lap. We've still got 4:45, Roger Green leading the way. John Paget, 4:49, now moves up to second place. Then back marker 64, Kev Smith. Paget coming onto the infield now, he's coming back onto the track. That's possibly lost him another place. Anthony Flanagan now is out of the race. We've lost the leader, Roger Green is out. It looks like it's 449, John Paget now in front. John Paget from Stuart Smith 139. The lead cars have now done 4 laps. Stuart Smith loses his second place, he's resumed now racing. We've still got young Frankie coming through. Hodgson hooks up there with Paul Pennington, and Frankie's spun out. It's 449, still leading at the front. Hodgson still struggling to get by the yellow top. He's got Rob Cowley in close contact. Right. The 2 novice white tops are both out on the 3rd and 4th bends. So it's Cowley putting Hodgson under pressure. Hodgson goes wide. Cowley's through and Hodgson's lost it. Paget goes by again. It's Paget still in front. That's halfway now for the leader. Paget's gone off. Lost valuable time as he rejoins the race, and he's lost time on the infield though. Right, 449 still in front, that's halfway this time. Cowley up to second by the looks of things. Young Wayman recovered well, moving back up the field. Hodgson not far behind young Wayman. Is that the running order? 449, yeah. Right, with 8 laps gone, it's 449 still leading from 445. Roger Green back in the running. Johnson digs in at the leader. That's put Paget wide. Johnson spins, Paget's in the fence. It now looks like Rob Cowley's taken up the running. It's Rob Cowley now in front. It's 5 to go next time for the leader. Looks like Junior's moved back up into second position. The cars are pretty much spread out now. Cowley 5 to go. Here comes young Wayman moving through. He's now up into second position by the looks of things. Then Paget third. Cowley's lost it. The leader has gone. Surely now young Wayman's in front. Hodgson possibly second with Paget running in third. We've got 98 Les Spencer. Moved up to 4th position. Right, so it's Frankie Wayman with 4 to go. And Frankie's lost it with tangle with Hodgson on the pit bend. He resumes the racing, but that's the 2 leaders now. Hodgson nips in front. No, it's Paget that's actually moved ahead. It's John Paget, 449, leading from Andy Hodgson. Young Wayman's recovered well. He's sitting tight in 3rd position. It's Paget from Hodgson, from young Wayman. Is that 3 to go? Just 3 to go now. Hodgson moves through into the lead. It's Paget now trying to defend second position. Andy Hodgson with 3 to go, leading from Paget. Paget's lost his line again. That's enabled Hodgson. That's enabled young Wayman to go through. Paget runs into the back of the Owen Brown car. 2 to go now with the 2 leaders almost bumper to bumper. Hodgson leading from young Wayman. Tiptoes around that bend. Here's Wayman making his move. He goes through on the inside. Will Hodgson's put the bumper in. Surely he must try. We've got young Wayman leading. Neil Smith might get in the way, the back marker, but no, Wayman's through. Hodgson's through. This is the last lap, everybody. We've got Wayman just in front of Hodgson. Will Hodgson try the big bumper on the last bend? Has he made it? The white top's in the way, but no, Wayman survives. Hodgson closing, but I don't think he's going to do it. Comes to the checkered flag. It's young Wayman leading over the line. He holds it from 272. Andy Hodgson. Looks like Spencer's moved up into 3rd position. The two leaders tangle out on their next bend, but it's too late now. They've taken the checkered flag. Carly's recovered from his brief delay. Looks like he's moved up amongst the leaders again. Hodgson now clouts the Armco on the third and fourth bend. Paul's in there himself, but he's already crossed the line. We're just trying to get the tail markers over the line. Consolation race. We're just checking the lap charts just to confirm the other 7 qualifiers.
Dark Raiders are led by Jane Bean in 309, number 2 Paul Harrison, 41 Gareth Potts and 515 Junior Wayman, 73 Rob Cowley, 29 Ian Higgins, 212 Frankie Wayman, 87 Neil Brigg, 272 Andy Hodgson. The rest of the Reds are 64 Kev Smith and 113 Rust Humphrey. We've got the superstars Dave Beresford 260, Peter Fording 33, John Lund 53. And novice driver on only his second appearance here at Scunthorpe, the lone white top made it through to the final. Well done to Craig Smith in 407. That completes the lineup. Anybody care?
So many really.
A lot of cars on the grid for tonight's Formula 1 final. We'll tell you exactly how many in a moment. 42 cars on the grid. We have just 2 non-starters of the 34 who qualified. They're rolling and under starters' orders with 20 racing laps ahead of them.
No, they're not.
No, they're not. And they've got the green flag. 32 of them stream away around Scunthorpe Raceway. They're not all going to make the first lap, that's for sure. As they get away, it's Mark Duxbury leads them. And they've started going out. There's 3 red tops in a heat down on the turnstile bend. A couple of blues on the infield. One of them's Richard Mason. Junior Wayman slowly away after trouble down there. So is Gareth Bott, 41. Matthew Bennett's been out down on the infield. Michael Ives has gone to the fence on the turnstile bend. There's problems now up on the pits turn. I think that's Russ Humphrey involved in a tangle with Ray Williams, 26. And there's a lot of traffic around the circuit. We've got 2 in trouble down on the turnstile bend. One of them's Jeff Nichols, 215. Ian Higgins gone. He's in a heat with 3 or 4 others up on the pits turn. He's just rejoining. John Paget's quarter barrel, 449. He's onto the infield. Jane Bean 309 and Les Spencer 98 have hooked up and they've gone to the infield. Complete and utter chaos around the circuit, and it was Mark Duxbury who led them through last time round in 234. 87 Neil Brigg coming back on from the and it looks as though Mal Brown has taken over the lead now, 34. Just checking back around the circuit as the lead cars come on through. It's 34 Mal Brown from 544 Russell Taylor, and it looks as though Peter Fording going well is up into 3rd from Frankie Wayman and Dave Beresford and John London, Mark Webster. And carnage amongst the low graders has put the big boys through towards the front. And still they come and go around the circuit. There's Ray Williams reversing onto a barrel down on turn 3, number 26, and it's Warren Hunter who's in the lead in number 20. We look for the leaders down on the turnstile bend, and here he comes, Warren Hunter in number 20, the race leader. Through in second goes 33 Peter Fording, with Frankie Wayman third in 2-1-2. Dave Beresford is 4, Mal Brown 5, John Lund 6, Mark Webster 7. Richard Pratt, Rob Cowley and Junior Wayman complete the 10. So Warren Hunter has lead position, car number 20 from 33 Peter Fording, moving on down the back straight with Frankie Wayman third in 2-1-2. Gareth Bott's gone, and so is Richard Pratt down on the turnstile bend. And it's number 20, Warren Hunter. Slows down momentarily on the back straight. And through they come again. We're on the home straight with the leaders. 20 and 33 and 2-1-2, and up to the pit turn they go, and it's halfway next time. Gareth Butt retires from the race, joining Jane Bean, Michael Eyes, Ray Williams, Richard Pratt, Les Spencer, Russ Humphrey, Mark Duxbury. They're all gone, and on the middle. And at the halfway, it's number 21 under from 33, Peter Fording. And then in behind them, it looks like Frankie Wayman and the next Dave Beresford, and then John London, Mark Webster. Russell Taylor's gone now. Rob Cowley comes through next. Behind him, Kev Smith and Mal Brown and Paul Harrison way down the places, and then Phil Smith, and then it's Junior Wayman. And now Peter Fording makes his bid for the lead, and he goes past Warren Hunter as they enter the pit turn. So on the back straight, it's 33 Peter Fording who has the lead from number 20 Warren Hunter. Coming through into the home straight again, Fording going away from Hunter, 33 the leader, 22nd. Andy Hodgson and Neil Bigg, 2 more retirements. Onto the infield they go, 272 and 87. And as the traffic thins out, Peter Fording is now going clear. He's on the home straight again in the 33 car. Warren Hunter second in number 20. Now looking on back down the track, it's Dave Beresford in third place, John Lund 4. Frankie Wayman 5, Mark Webster 6, and Jeff Nichols another retirement in the 215 car. Craig Smith also out of the race in 407. And Peter Fording up on the pits turn with just 5 to run next time. The 33 car moves on down the back straight. So with the lap boards about to show and the traffic thinned out considerably from the 32 who set out, it's 33, Peter Fording in the lead. Warren Hunter goes through second in number 20. Looking on back down the track is John Lund up to third, Frankie Wayman 4, Dave Beresford 5, Mark Webster 6, Kev Smith is 7, Rob Cowley in 8th, Paul Harrison is 9 and Junior Wayman 10. And only a couple of others still running are Phil Smith and Richard Thornton as Fording continues on his way, now attempting to lap Junior Wayman as they go to the turnstile bend again. Moving on through the closing stages, this is 3 to run for Fording. Just takes it very gingerly past Junior Wayman as he puts him a lap down, and Fording on his way and clear and shunt down there on the turnstile bend, and the Mal Brown car 34 goes onto the infield with flames coming from the underneath. Track staff on the spot to deal with the situation as Mal Brown pulls up on the infield and on through the closing stages with Peter Fording leading the way. Paul Harrison and Mark Webster, number 2 and 226, have hooked up, and the leader Peter Fording is behind them on track. He's helped them to separate and he goes on his way down the back straight. Mark Webster just gets in behind Fording to help him around that turnstile bend, but he's coming through, he's going to collect the checker. Fording wins the grand final in 33. We wait for the place drivers to come on through. Warren Hunter takes second in number 20. Behind him it's John London, Frankie Wayman, Dave Beresford, Kev Smith and Rob Cowley. Paul Harrison and goes on through. Richard Thornton in the minor places, so is Phil Smith, and that looks to be it.
pushing things at the front. The two superstars, Dave Beresford, John Lund. Now occupy the commentary box. How many are here? Right, it's 16 laps. Remember Peter Folding, going from the lap handicap, with the £100 up for scraps, as well as the double money. Right, one car in the line-up, it's 342, Alistair Newsom.
Only just got to the stadium, his first time out, and they're on the green, and they're underway. Peter Folding going from the front, with a lap handicap. The red tops trying to get through the first bend. They've all survived. Ian Higgins, Rob Carley lose a bit of time. And it's 342 leading the way. Under pressure already from Ian Baygot. Baygot spins the leader, it's at 538, goes in front. Side swap there by Dave Johnson, so it's 383. Now the new leader with one lap gone. Further down the grid it's Frankie Wayman Jr. leading the red tops from Kev Smith, then Frankie Wayman Sr., then John Lund. But it's 383 leading from 131, then 538. 342 is now spun out, collected one of the blue tops. Paul Harrison leading the reds in front of Frankie Wayman Jr. then Kev Smith. As he begins to close on John Lund at the back of the grid. Right, 131 now goes in front. We've lost the leader, Dave Johnson. It's 131 leading. Richard Thornton from 86, Dave Toulson. 64 now moved up to third position from John Lund, then Dave Beresford. Then possibly Jeff Nichols with Frankie Wayman Sr. and Frankie Wayman Jr. coming next. Beresford still on the back end of John Lund. 2, 3, 4, Mark Duxley's pulled off. Folding's been taken out. He's laid a few blue tops. 64 now in front, that's Kev Smith. 64 from David Toulson. Then Lund, then Beresford. Folding back in the race. But it's 64 leading. Beginning to close on some of the tail end reds, Paul Harrison and Jane Bean. Six laps gone now for the lead car. It's 64 leading from 86, then 53. Now moves up into third position from Dave Beresford. Possibly Richard Pratt now in second position. But it's Kev Smith again leading from the front. Kev Smith now with the clear track in front of him. Mark Webster's gone out, 226. Rob Carley, Warren Hunter both on the infield also. Kev Smith again completes another lap. Richard Pratt pushes away, a wide top out of the way. He's under pressure from Paul Harrison and Jane Bean. Bean's spun out there by John Lund. Paul Harrison also loses time, resumes racing. They're past halfway. It's 64 leading. Folding now. Closed upon Lund. But Folding lost time early on. Here comes Kev Smith again. It's Kev Smith leading. 5 to go next time. Kev Smith from Richard Pratt, from John Lund, from Dave Beresford. Frankie Wayman also well placed amongst the leaders. It's 5 this time for the leader, that's Kev Smith. Hodgson loses time, hits the armco of the white top. Thorning goes through a gap. If Kev Smith now clear the chasing pack, as long as he makes no mistakes, he should have this one wrapped up. 11 laps gone now for the leader. It's Kev Smith from Frankie Wayman Senior, then Richard Pratt, then John Lund. 12 laps gone now for the lead car. We're moving towards the closing stages. It's now 3 to go for 64, well clear of the chasing pack. Jeff Nichols delaying Peter Thorne a bit there, Wayman second, then John Lund, then maybe Richard Pratt. Still Kev Smith comfortably in the lead, coming up to lap Neilbrigg 87. That's 2 laps left now for Kev Smith. Wayman in a comfortable second, then Lund. Kev Smith now just about to start his last lap. He's crossed the line with 1 lap to go. Wayman having troubles trying to pass a back marker. He takes second place. Lund possibly closing in third. Kev Smith taking the final bend very, very carefully. The checker flag is ready. And it's a win for 64. Kev Smith. Thank you, Wayman Senior, second. Lund moves up into third. Keep them going for the final places. Beresford, possibly fourth. David Toulson, Richard Pratt over the line. Still waiting for the last of the cars to cross the line. They're still... That's it, red flags out please Caroline. Race over.